opportunity to show respect to the audience and respect your own business. It was a way to protect me. But to be the man, you gotta be the man. And I'm
Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and all you smart marks, I am Mr. Richie Moon.
And I'm Kayfabe AJ.
And I'm Kayfabe Focus.
And this is the Kayfabe Bad Livecast.
So let's start.
Well, we're not gonna say podcast no more. We already said it. We already said it.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, are we gonna be like being the elite and just repeat old jokes over and over again?
Nah, I don't think so. I think
Let's just tell them where we're at.
Yeah,
somewhere.
More of that.
well, since Rock's baby left him, well, he found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Jabroni Drive at.
So, what's going on? What we got going on this weekend? Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have some good news and I have some bad news.
Start off with the news.
Start with the news.
Good news.
So, we coming off of the Royal Rumble. We coming off of
Hot Royal
a
Rumble.
lot of wrestling, just wrestling heavy week. And it didn't stop after the Rumble ended.
It did not.
Started again.
But somebody who was paying close attention to the Rumble, and I don't know, people are asking whether he was a little tipsy on Twitter. Was he, did he have the courage, the liquid courage,
Oh, I know what you're getting at. I know what you're talking about.
Chris Jericho goes on a Twitter rampage. He says, Lesnar, pull up your pants and lose that gut. Calling out the beast incarnate himself.
Damn.
Then, further on down the week, he ends up tweeting, we are only interested, as in AEW is only interested in about 6 superstars. I'm glad you're pushing
A bunch
your
of randoms.
your randoms.
Yeah, he added WWE, Impact, and Ring of Honor. And he said, I'm glad you're pushing a bunch of randoms, but we're only interested in 6 to 8 of your talent.
Yeah, we're only interested in 6 to 8. We don't need you. I think Chris Jericho's fucks have finally went out the window. Because he was being really cordial to Vince, through his entire process, going to New Japan, and then, at one point saying he won't work for another company in the States.
Things change.
Things do change. I wonder what's going on behind the scenes as far as
work.
between them.
What's the work? Trying to, it's a work.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
if it's publicity they want, they definitely.
This is how it started with him facing Kenny Omega. It started with a tweet, and then it started snowballing, and then the match with Kenny Omega he had Wrestle Kingdom 12. It all started with a tweet, so this could be Jericho just trying to pop the boys.
So moving on. Wait, let's address the elephant in the room first.
Wow.
We're missing someone.
Huh?
We're missing someone. So if you're wondering, thought you was here the whole time. She was on her John Cena.
Yeah, where was
she?
We're missing the Kayfabe Queen, Melly Mel.
Where you at? I thought
she's homesick, so everybody wish Melly Mel, speedy recovery so she can get her ass back next week.
3.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
Wink, nudge, nudge.
Toy Story level. So,
wink, nudge, nudge.
I mean, that is in the news. She probably is home playing Kingdom Hearts right now. So moving on, we have Bray Wyatt continuing to tease that he's coming out soon. Okay. I honestly thought he was gonna return in the Rumble. I feel like if he's ready now.
Yeah, he should have came out.
If he's ready now, why not join the Rumble?
They needed that somebody out of nowhere to come back and just pop like that. Because Bray Wyatt coming back would have been huge.
I would have liked that, but I wouldn't have wanted to see him lose. Because that was his biggest issue before. Is that he would just lose.
I don't know. I think in this climate, somebody like a Bray Wyatt that has the character, has the promo work, all of that. I think that he can easily be one of the people that they start pushing towards the front.
Absolutely.
Of storylines, especially considering with the next news. Like we said, we got good news and bad news, and Dean Ambrose said that after Mania he's gone.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a direct quote, but they're saying that he said he's tired of this hokey shit.
Yeah.
And
tired of the hokey shit.
He's done. So
it makes sense. I mean, Dean Ambrose's character, it was how could you go wrong with it? He came back he was injured for 9 months. You had the Seth Rollins.
Came with super heel, like
he
aura.
Like a heel. He came
not heat, because people wanted him to go that route.
Yeah.
Not heat, but he had the aura that everybody was just like, we want Dean Ambrose to turn heel, go berserk, forget the Shield, forget Rollins, just go crazy.
I feel like Dean Ambrose was supposed to be like the WWE Tommaso Ciampa. That's the kind of heel he was supposed to be, and then they kind of just blew it. So I feel him, man.
I mean,
dude, remember the promos? I think I was here. I think I was here watching when he did the promo where they were sticking him. The doctor was sticking him in the ass.
Yeah, that was stupid. The whole shit was stupid.
Come on.
Now the whole gas. They could have done the gas mask gimmick and the people coming down.
That actually looks cool.
They could have made that work. That was cool. They could have made that work, but the whole I'm allergic to you now and
I'm allergic to this whole city.
Like, come on, getting shots and
stupid.
It was trying to be funny and they failed. So
yeah. Dean Ambrose says he's not.
I think Wyatt going back. I was jumping off, but going back to Wyatt, I think now that a Dean Ambrose, somebody who's already a Triple Crown champion in the WWE, he's won every belt except for the Universal. Universal title.
Universal.
He's up there with Roman and Seth.
What do you call that now? I guess because you're a Grand Slam champion. I guess you're like a Super Grand Slam champion when you win all of them. I don't think anybody's won all of them.
Jericho hasn't won that.
Nobody's won all of them. Nobody's won everything because Brock's never won like the Intercontinental.
Well, the Universal title's fairly new, and until it's off Brock Lesnar's waist for good, I'm not gonna count that.
Kevin Owens is pretty close though.
I personally, is not gonna count that until he drops that title for good. For good, like it's not a part of the storyline. It's not a part of Raw.
Yeah.
So.
It
doesn't matter.
Sometimes
Dean
drops in that a storyline.
Hell yeah.
Listen,
the Universal Championship is basically just like a prop now. That's all it is. It doesn't have any real prestige on it.
Unfortunately,
even Eric Bischoff will tell you like that shit is whack.
Well, Eric Bischoff shouldn't really talk about placing value in certain parts of wrestling and not putting value in other things. He failed twice, so. Bischoff failed twice. I love Bischoff. Respects everything. He did accomplish good things, but he failed twice.
He did fail twice.
So, on top of Dean Ambrose leaving, we have Hideo Itami actually being granted his release ahead of his contract.
A lot of people are saying because he probably said that he's just going to go straight to Noah, which WWE ironically does work with in New Japan. I think it's basically he's not going to go to like Ring of Honor or AEW.
I heard there was rumors that they let him go because he signed something along the lines of he won't work for New Japan or anything like that. Which would make sense. And if they go into Noah, the partnership between Noah and WWE, it makes perfect sense.
It does make sense.
There was a large debate on the forums this week about Hideo and the way he was treated. And I don't think Hideo was necessarily treated incorrectly. He was a victim of time, and he was a victim of his own body, his injuries.
If he didn't get injured, if Hideo Itami didn't get injured when he did, he would have been a big star.
They was really trying to push him to be who was the champion at the time.
He came in like a little bit before Finn Balor. Well, that sucks because he came in a little bit before Finn Balor.
So Melissa's chiming in into the chat with us. So she's not here physically, but she's here spiritually through chat, and she's saying Dean Ambrose just wanted character control, and they didn't allow him to. So he is leaving. So Vince is extending all of his superstar contracts because of the thought that all his wrestlers will go sign to AEW. Now, it's not just AEW at this point. We got to really look at the scope We have Ring of Honor signing talent left and right. We got New Japan knocking down their stars.
I think
we
AEW
have
just
all these even
women of wrestling.
We have all these independent promotions coming to the forefront.
Yeah.
OEW is it the partnership with the AEW?
Yep.
They just got a streaming service in UK. We talked about that last week. MLW, they're getting more shine as well. They're actually on a streaming service. I gotta get back to you on which one. But they do have
a lot of great matches.
They do have a way to view MLW. The Hart Foundation, the new Hart Foundation out there just won the tag belts.
Dirty Filthy Lawler, Shane Strickland.
There's a lot than just
No Key.
People worrying about the signing to AEW because God honest truth, Ring of Honor's on fire.
I think what AEW did was open up the door. It really opened up the door, and I think it made New Japan and Ring of Honor like, all right, we got to step our sign.
Because out of the pool of people, they're the only people that have the money to even try to lock down certain people.
Yeah.
You know, we got to also understand AEW does have the money backing it to entice these wrestlers to go there. But now it forces these promotions to be like, hey, we got to do things right with these people, and we got to get these contracts under control. So like that, we don't lose people we build up properly.
Yeah.
One being for WWE, rumors of AJ Styles. There was rumors that he signed, but he said that's not true. He don't remember that.
I haven't heard anything that he signed.
But yeah, so there was a rumor out there saying that he already signed a 3-year contract.
His contract is up until April.
AJ Styles is one that he's the best. He's the best example of an indie guy. The only thing he wants is less appearances, pretty much.
And that's what
Atlanta Travis schedule.
Gonna get that to him.
He doesn't need a guy like AJ Styles doesn't need to be at house shows.
He doesn't.
They need to really take all the main roster stars off of the house shows and give that to the guys who are relegated to main event, relegated to. You know, not even the mid card, the low card.
They got the roster to do it.
You know,
they have the roster.
These live events are not expensive. You get to still see great talent. It's just you get to see new talent. I think that's the best way they could probably start developing their characters and their talent a little bit more. Instead of testing the main guys who should be ready to go, they're live on Monday and Tuesdays. They should be testing the lower card so they can eventually get to the mid card. But moving on from all of that. We have bad news. Ember Moon is officially injured, coming off of the Royal Rumble. She's gonna be out for a couple of months. Is really unfortunate for that. Melissa says in chat, AEW is scouting a lot of superstars. The Young Bucks wanted to sign Pentagon and Phoenix. Well, actually, they did sign Pentagon and Phoenix.
I'm definitely gonna get to that.
It's a handshake deal right now, but they just dropped the MLW Tag Team Championships to the Hart Foundation. Speaking of them, so they're already doing their due diligence. At the end of that event, they ended up just storming out after their loss, the Lucha Brothers. So we don't know. They probably honestly, AEW still giving these people the option to still
work other places
and travel other places. So I can still see. Pentagon and Phoenix, whatever.
Yeah, they're probably still
continuing their relationship with MLW.
I think we're definitely going to see Impact work with AEW. Actually, I don't want to jump, but there's actually I'll wait till I get them part and lose because
I think they're going to get a partnership with AAA as well.
I don't see why not. I don't see why, because I think everybody can benefit once they get the TV deal. I think everybody can benefit from that. But we'll
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Something happened that, I'll let you continue because something happened that might have soured the relationship between New Japan and AEW. Though.
What's that? Elaborate.
Chuck Beretta, the best friends.
Not best friends.
They signed to AEW, and they were signed with.
They went in chaos.
Chuck Beretta did a handshake deal with I guess whoever the manager was in New Japan.
Handshake deals are legal.
They are.
They're legally binding just as much as a paper contract.
I don't know.
No, they are. A handshake agreement.
If you bring it to a judge.
Yeah, you can still take somebody to court on a handshake agreement.
But I know they signed with AEW, and I think one of the guys from the Best Friends said,
"Why do you think Kenny didn't allude to didn't directly say where he was going or what he was doing, but the whole time he was going to AEW, so he didn't even do no type of handshake deal on the surface for people to see,
Yeah.
That's if they're still under contract to New Japan.
They're not under contract anymore.
So if they're not under contract,
they basically just
no
kind of
told
me the contract was up. They basically told them that we would resign, and then AEW kind of came in between all that, and they signed with AEW. There's rumors of the Briscoes and Bubba and Bully Ray going to AEW. So
it's crazy.
Getting quite interesting.
Crazy environment.
Makes
it's a crazy environment. So coming out of the Rumble, we have Nia Jax taking the China spot.
Ooh, I like this, yo. I am for Nia with the guys.
Into the men's Royal Rumble. Speaking of China, we have a top 9 reasons why she's the 9th one in the world. Go watch that. All due respect to China. But Nia Jax, she comes out, attacks R-Truth, and R-Truth is legitimately mad at her. Like, I think she injured his ankle. She injured his ankle and like really cracked him. She has legit heat with R-Truth. Like they said that they had to restrain R-Truth, and
that's what Jerry King said on his podcast. Dinner with the King.
And this is the thing. Jumping backwards, people were talking about Hideo Itami leaving and his injuries, and people injuring people. They try to blame Joe, and like why Joe doesn't get the same heat because he injures people as a Nia Jax and stuff like that. People getting injured. So this was my argument. Someone like a Joe or someone who's injury prone, they don't give people those spotlights if you're injury prone, because what if you on a run, they expecting you on an 8-9 month run and you get injured in 2.
Yo, that's serious.
You divert the whole storyline and all the creative input and work they did back there. That's the unfortunate thing for Dale. Now somebody like Joe and Nia who injured people in the past, there's a difference between Samoa Joe injuring somebody twice in 15 years.
Actually,
and around that number. But Joe's been going at it 100% for over 15 years already.
Across the world.
Someone like Nia Jax has been consistently hurting somebody in just a short time.
Couple of months.
And it's consistent. It's consistent. And I personally make jokes all the time with Nia Jax. And one of my favorite things to even tell her is
you absolutely, undoubtedly, unquestionably, 100% completely suck.
I was watching a culture video the other day, and they actually did the math on it. They literally did the math.
How many times she's hurt someone?
Yeah, it's like once every 40 matches, and they did like I forget. They did actually. I wish I would have done. I should. Bad journalism. I actually should. They actually did the math on. They compared it to Seth Rollins. Like Seth Rollins, like his injury, he injured somebody like once every 300 and something matches.
Look at that.
And Nia Jax every 40.
And then they bring up people like Rollins who's injured people.
Everybody injures somebody. Man.
They do, but
it's wrestling. It's not ballet.
How many years have these guys been going at it without injuring people, and the level that they're going at it in these matches? Nia Jax has no skill level that matches any of these guys you're comparing her to.
Nah, I don't think so.
She doesn't.
A simple punch is different than a muscle buster. And even Tyson Kidd admits it was the way he landed, and it wasn't Joe.
Yeah, because he's done a muscle buster 1,000 times.
So
he's done the muscle buster 1,000 times.
It's more so. Look at the skill level. She punched a simple punch that you should be able to know how to pull.
Turn around and straight cold cock
that should be training. That should be like day 1 training besides running ropes.
Nia stopped, looked at Becky, and straight boom.
Rocked her shit.
She rocked her shit.
That felt to me. It felt intentional.
Crazy.
Let's get her out the storyline.
It did, yo. That shit did look intentional because she stopped and looked at her. She had time to look at her dead in her face and just boom.
And
that was crazy.
This is not good heat. I
like what she's doing with the men, though. I like what she's doing with the men. I can't deny that.
I like it too, but she doesn't deserve that spot because she needs to work.
They're trying to warm us up to it.
If you're gonna throw her in with the men so she can have better training in a way, then I understand that. But she doesn't deserve that kind of spotlight right now because you're injuring people left and right. Your matches are not that good. You only have a clothesline and a Samoan drop and a leg drop. You don't have 5 moves as Doom. You have a big history of Samoan culture in WWE alone. Pick and choose moves for your own family if you're not creative enough.
People's elbow.
Do the rock bottom or some
There's
shit.
so many things she can do with her size. The whistle can do Vader bomb.
That's what I'm saying. And her moveset is so limited to be even injuring people on the level that she is. So when you compare her to a Joe who's injured people, or compare her to anybody, a Rollins, look at the skill level and look at the risk and the technique and the difference between what they're doing.
And also, don't try this at home.
Yeah, don't try that at home. But you know, you have to people. You know, I'm not trying to justify the injury. It happens. You know, Brie Bella.
Cannon leave.
As much as Brie Bella.
Yo, what's up with all these cannon leaves, man?
You know, he gotta stretch his legs sometimes.
Yo, you know what happens?
As much as
you know what happens when you get off camera?
You know what happens when you cut me off in the middle of a thought?
Nah, I don't know what happens.
You know what? Nothing happens because Melissa's not here and she has the kayfabe book.
Yo.
We don't do this. We do books.
Yeah,
so she has the book of kayfabe and we can't write you in today.
Sorry.
Damn, you can't write
count the sins. Don't worry. I am keeping track of the sins.
When people were giving shit to Brie Bella, I even gave Brie Bella shit too because it was back to back to back. She should have got the ring rust off before she was supposed to perform at a main event high level, especially considering her body just came from a big transformation.
Yeah.
You know, so she should have got the ring rust off first. But
there's some NXT workout.
Even Brie has a little bit more skill level and talent than Nia Jax has currently in ring.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But,
you know, it's not good heat. The point of this is not good heat. You're trying to turn it into a thing for your character. Like, no, I respect technique. I respect people who can give 1,000% in the ring, and y'all both safe at the end of that match. Yeah, let's move on. Truth has heat with her. Truth gets some redemption later on in the show, though.
What's up?
Speaking earlier of MLW, MLW has a joint show set up with Impact Wrestling during WrestleMania weekend. So now we have NXT, we have Ring of Honor, New Japan.
Everybody's gonna be up
there. MLW, Impact. We have I think Progress is gonna be around. We have Evolve is gonna be around.
Everybody's gonna be around that. Everybody's gonna be around the tri-state area.
So much wrestling.
Yeah.
There's look.
We're trying to go through all of it.
She puts you on the list. She's home.
She put you on the list.
She's on YouTube. She's on YouTube commenting. She officially put you on the list.
That's right, Richie. You on the list.
No.
In the book of kayfabe.
I'm gonna book kayfabe.
She put you.
Oh.
Wow. Who you put? No, you gotta tell us now. Who you put on the list? Moving forward. So, Rey Mysterio, in all these years after Eddie Guerrero's death, this year was the first time he actually went and visited his grave. And rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. Like, I was just watching like old shit of him the other day, and it's a big hole that's still not filled as far as Eddie Guerrero goes. But for the first time, can I just say his grave is beautiful. Yeah, like the whole way it looks, and the setup with the flowers and all that. It was really nice. It was, Mysterio. A lot of people had a lot of respect for Eddie Guerrero, and for Mysterio to take this long, and it was like a big weight off his shoulders. He said, and he felt like kind of like a healing energy coming from it. So, big ups to Mysterio, and rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero.
Yes,
so tomorrow's episode of Monday Night Raw, Kurt Angle's set to address his future. I'm hoping he's addressing the fact that he's no longer going to be in a wrestling capacity.
They're not booking him right, man. They're not booking him right, man. This is supposed to be Kurt Angle's Tanahashi year. For those who don't get the reference, last year Tanahashi, like the John Cena of New Japan, came back from all his injuries, had one of his best comebacks, won the G1, main evented champion. That's what I'm not saying that Kurt Angle needs to go and main event WrestleMania. But what I'm saying is this is supposed to be Kurt Angle's redemption story. It's probably going to be his last run physically in the ring. So we needed to see Kurt Angle, like he came out and he said, I'm going to get the comeback. Then he loses clean to Baron Corbin. Last time we seen him, he got washed. God damn it, by Drew McIntyre. So WWE, come on, I hope this is part of the storyline. Like, come on, man. They gotta. Come on, man.
And she said, blocking my view, Richie Moon. So you definitely made the kayfabe book this week.
Oh yeah? Wow! Did I? Wow! Wow!
She said she's trying to view the live as well.
Wow!
So I don't know. Kurt Angle just doesn't look the same. Like his neck is super stiff. He's kind of like hunched over.
Because he broke his freaking neck.
I know, but still, don't you think it's time for you to hang it up then?
I think
he should have had his one last redemption run, and it should have led to his Hall of Fame. I don't think he should have continued wrestling after the Ronda thing.
I think Kurt Angle could definitely continue to wrestle. I think you just have to book it
in doses.
Yeah, you have to do it in doses. Yeah, we don't need to see Kurt Angle like.
You know what? If anybody deserves the Goldberg Brock Lesnar spot, it's a Kurt Angle who's there all the time.
Why didn't Kurt Angle get that kind of spot? That's a great point. Why did he not get that kind of just
come in, German suplex, wrestling machine it up? Right. Instant tap you. Angle slam, instant tap you.
That's it. We needed a small I didn't really want to see Kurt Angle as a Raw general manager because it's just too much. Small dosage. You appreciate it.
He needs to go to AEW.
I don't want to. No.
I bet you they'll use him in the right way.
AEW needs to be a bunch of fresh young guys who can go.
It's gonna be in between
with the speed.
Guys and young guys.
No. So moving on, we have Charlotte kind of confirming that we're gonna have a women's WrestleMania main event that's gonna close the show. So it's looking more and more like that's where we're gonna end up.
Hey, Willie Ray was saying that there's no other match that has the emotion there, and if the WWE can't produce that, they might as well put the women's match for the main event.
It should be Becky and Ronda, and probably more than likely Charlotte's going to get involved in this. It does. I'm most invested in it. It should close out the show. It really should. If you're ever going to do it, Ronda's there. Boom. I think this is the perfect time to do it. I think it's going to close out the show. It's stuff. I think it is.
Well,
nobody wants to see Brock Lesnar close out the show. Where even if he does, even if Seth does,
he shouldn't listen.
It doesn't matter.
They just have the WWE 24 from last year's WrestleMania, and after his match,
I really want to know the story behind it. Like the real story.
He went behind the gorilla position. Says I'm done. Throws the title at Vince. Vince calls him ass. So they didn't even elaborate on that.
I would love
in the WWE.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to hear the real story.
He should never close out a WrestleMania again.
He shouldn't.
For the simple reason being, you make people go home with a bitter, disgusting taste in their mouth. And nobody wants to go home that way.
Dude, they were booing.
They were saying it was boring.
They were boring, and they were booing it even before the match started. And I feel bad for Roman because Roman's a good wrestler.
That was supposed to be Roman's crowning achievement, and all they gave us was
they changed it that day.
They gave us some color, and he bled the clean way. He was leaking. They could have made that his Stone Cold moment.
That could have worked. It could have worked out. Oh, that could have worked out so good, man.
If he won. Or if he lost in a manner that he was fell unconscious just like Austin did, but for him to just get his fucking ass whooped after that,
he damn near got jobbed. He damn near got jobbed in the main event of WrestleMania.
Listen,
damn near got jobbed.
Brock Lesnar is a fucking problem, and I straight up said it. If coming out of the Royal Rumble, Finn Balor didn't win that title, I knew he wasn't gonna win, but just the fact that. Going in is like, all right, let me have a little bit of hope. Maybe WWE's listening. And I said it straight up. I'll call them the fuck out. They are tone deaf.
You know what's
tone
crazy?
Deaf.
They're not
I was sad. Listen, that shit took all the oomph going in because that Royal Rumble was damn near excellent.
It was a good Royal Rumble. That was a really good Royal Rumble.
Having Brock walk out, come on. Brock is a brand in himself. He does not need the title.
I don't like the way they did it because they only booked it. They only made it Braun versus Brock to sell tickets. But if you look on the merch, Finn Balor outsells Braun almost by double. So that doesn't make any sense.
He just had new merch. He just had new merch going into this match.
They could have.
You don't think he blew the sales on the stands that day?
That's crazy.
Going into this Universal title match with people hashtagging We Believe in Finn and all this.
They should have.
I said it straight up. WWE, you're fucking tone deaf when it comes to the world title situation. You're not fucking listening. Now they did allude to maybe a match going on forward with Finn somehow, because even after the match was over,
they beat him up.
Brock whooped his ass again. Like
I think they honestly they should.
I think they're gonna pull the Demon out down the line.
They should have did the Demon versus Brock at WrestleMania. You could just did a non-finish. That's all you had to do if you want to protect it, because that would have sold tickets. Everybody went with the Demon versus Brock. Oh my gosh!
Or just have it where
it's the visual.
Finn is giving him everything he got, and Brock just keeps coming back, and then the Good Brothers, come out. And whoop his ass with you.
You know, for some reason, I don't think the WWE just wants to go that route. I think they really want to stay away from the.
They want to stay away. They do want to stay away from the club stuff because New Japan is so heavily involved with clubs and with stables.
You can't see it without. You can't see one without the other.
You can't see a club without exactly.
You can't see one without the
other.
But
you have these pieces. That's like you saying you have a queen on your chessboard, but you don't use it.
It's ridiculous. So much that WWE can just do from just the club.
Your best piece you're not even using. So
they could have did a non-finish with the Demon versus the Beast. That would have been way more of a draw than Braun versus Brock, which we've seen 2 times already, and Brock whoops his ass every time.
The direction that this Mania looks like is going, it looks like we're gonna get Charlotte Flair versus Becky versus Ronda for the title. So I don't think it's too far out of the realm.
I feel 50-50 on that.
I feel 50-50 on that.
Part of me doesn't, and a part of me does. Because it's going to be a better match with Charlotte. It's going to be a better match with Charlotte.
And whatever shortcomings Ronda has as far as... because Ronda's really great, and she's really impressive. But, you know, she still has some things that she's still not... she doesn't click well.
Charlotte brings the best out of everybody.
She's going to bring the... She did. She brought that match between her and Ronda was fucking
Everybody
amazing.
Has their best matches
against
Charlotte. Everybody.
You know, she brought that out of Ronda, and I think... You know, we need somebody like a Charlotte because Becky is awesome and she can bring out good matches of people, but Charlotte does it with everyone. It's almost a guarantee.
Yeah,
it's almost a guarantee. Even someone like Iconics.
But I don't want to.
She made the Iconics look good in the back-to-back match, beating both of them.
The Iconics are good. If you watch their NXT stuff, they actually
but
just the way
these
they
are people
just the way they book them.
These are people booked as a joke and booked as a scared comedy routine.
My only thing worried about that is that I feel like it kind of undermines the SmackDown Women's Championship. If Becky's already gone to Raw, basically they're slowly moving her over to Raw. Then if Charlotte just jumps over there, it's like so Asuka's just there by herself. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying?
Who's ready for Asuka?
Especially because Sasha and Bayley are going to do the tag team. I can understand maybe if they weren't doing the tag team things and then maybe Sasha or Bayley go over to SmackDown, but they're going to be on Raw with the tag team belts. So I feel like that kind of undermines Asuka a little bit.
They could be more NXT call-ups.
Wait, what undermines Asuka?
If Charlotte goes and joins the feud with she's already in it basically, but if she officially gets in a match with Ronda and Becky. Because it's just like everybody just leaving SmackDown. Asuka's kind of just there, like here.
No, we have a perfect opportunity for someone on SmackDown Live to stand the fuck up and have a good match at Mania.
That does.
We open a spot for another woman
with their current roster right now.
Look at Naomi.
Naomi. There's a whole bunch of talent that they could use right now.
Yeah.
I could easily see Naomi getting into that, and the rivalry will be good because they were friends. Have that whole reason for them even teaming up.
Are you sexist? Just gotta be friends, huh?
I didn't say that. I said use the reason that they were friends.
For people out there, the context, I had an ongoing theory that WWE
it's not a theory, it's confirmed.
Yeah, that they only do women's storylines with friends. Everybody's friends. The baseline of all the feuds come from them being friends.
Yeah, well,
it works out.
It's kind of not even a theory.
Well, Becky and Charlotte, it works out great, but you don't need to do it with everybody.
It will give a little bit of solidification for the fact of why they were teaming up in the first place, because that shit died out.
Yes.
Asuka's champion. So you could give somebody like a Naomi that spot at Mania.
You would just
last year didn't she win the Andre the women's battle royal?
I hate to say it, but
it doesn't mean it doesn't. But
it should, but it doesn't.
Look at where she was at the year before that, women's title. The year after that, you're opening the show
34
with
the 33.
She won the title.
She won the title. I was there for that in Orlando.
And then she had the battle royal.
Yeah, that was 30.
Why not bring her back into the storyline? We don't need another Charlotte Asuka, even though a part 2 to that feud.
Well, Asuka winning that
does need to happen. We don't need it at Mania. I think they should make the match the 3-way because it just makes perfect sense storyline-wise at this point. Not only that, it goes to my other point back to Brock and that situation with Finn. WWE likes to book things and gimmick things. So why not have the best championships, the best championships from Raw, the women and men both defended in triple threats. We have Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, the Royal Rumble winner, versus Brock Lesnar. But not just Finn Balor, we have Demon Balor. Because right now, we'll get more into details of Seth's part, but Seth and Finn, their dealings with Brock Lesnar this week, both been booked the same way, in the same style. So I completely see Finn still wanting his redemption on that, and he still does need his redemption.
Yeah, that would be good if they went that direction. I would love that, but I don't think they're going to. But I would love that. That would be awesome.
We'll see. We still got 2 pay-per-views before WrestleMania. We got the Chamber. We got Fastlane. So we'll see. You got any news? Anything else? Any tidbits before we move on?
I guess I'll get into I was gonna wait until after Raw, SmackDown, or something like that to get into the New Japan stuff.
Nah.
Look, Melissa gives a good example. Nikki Cross. Give someone like Nikki. Nikki's definitely gonna move to SmackDown.
Yeah, they just gotta build their own. They have the talent. They just gotta build up the right.
You know what? Let me take that back because she has been on Raw a little bit more consistent than SmackDown.
Yeah. They have the talent. They just have to build the person, whoever they're gonna do it. That's what So we'll see.
Yeah. So
what was that? What was that? Paige? Oh, Paige!
Paige!
Oh shit! Paige! Moving
on to Monday Night Raw.
I feel like I liked this Monday Night Raw. I might pick it off.
Raw was okay. It was decent. It picked up more so this week coming off of the Rumble than last week's lead into the Rumble.
Yeah.
This was our critique last week that this wasn't a good go home episode. This was a good return from the Rumble.
I think that has a lot to do with the crowd too. The crowd gave it a very.
The Rumble felt like they finally gave the Royal Rumble the feel that it always should have had, especially being considered a Big 4 pay-per-view.
Absolutely, I agree. It was a Rumble after Mania. After Rumble.
Maybe like the second match in, once it started getting a little bit darker in the arena, I got used to the little screens, but the whole dugout, coming out the dugout field, it was dope.
I liked it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely like that. So, coming into the show, we have Seth Rollins coming out. Of course, Seth Rollins went about a half an hour in the Royal Rumble, coming out the winner. So, he does the typical come out, point to WrestleMania. He's talking about how hard the decision actually is between the WWE title and the Universal title. We have both champions on the show tonight. That's right, Brock Lesnar crawled out of his cave and he decided to show up. So, he was gonna. Triple H comes out, basically congratulates Seth. Knew that the fire that he wanted coming out of Seth. This is exactly what he wanted, and he tells Seth Rollins, "I need your answer by tonight."
Okay.
So Dean Ambrose comes out, and again, this is right before. The last thing he does before he announces that he's no longer with WWE. So this is why I really think it's a big possibility that is a work.
Well, there was supposed to be a big storyline with him at the Rumble, but he told them that Saturday or Friday that he's not re-signing, and then they dropped him. Because if you remember in the Rumble, Aleister Black just dumped him off and dumped him over the top rope.
If this is a work, this is the perfect opportunity to do what Impact was trying to do with Austin Aries.
And what's that?
As far as like walked off, left for a little while, and become like the what was the word for it? It was like Brian Pillman's gimmick kind of.
Dean Ambrose should have been a modern day Brian Pillman. That's what it could
It's the
be.
perfect opportunity to do something like that.
Yeah, if Triple H is behind it, if Triple H can put his hands on it and have his fingerprints on it, it can work. But anybody else, I don't trust it.
You know what?
I don't trust it.
It's at the point where the tone deafness of WWE is coming from the guys in the back.
I think it's time
for Triple H to take over.
Yes,
it is, and that's what I was alluding to. The problem with WWE and the tone deafness is the fact that you got 70, 80-year-old guys in the back making the final decisions. It's not a disrespect. It's not a disrespect. It's true. You're not in tune. Look at NXT. The story that NXT told in the last takeover was better than anything going in WWE right now. And that is, you can at me
wrestling
if you want. At me with the arguments.
NXT is often, I'll say this a lot. NXT is often some of the best things in wrestling. Period. Forget WWE in all of wrestling. All of wrestling.
Melissa said Becky's gonna be on tomorrow's Raw, invited by Stephanie, and she said, "Thanks, but I was gonna go anyways." That's how she responded to Stephanie McMahon.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm good. I want her to. They really want her to.
So, as far as Dean Ambrose goes, and the segment leading in, and why I think his work is because after he loses, he ends up sitting in the ring, sitting on a chair. It looked like he was about to give like a fire promo, like something. I think they're trying to rework the CM Punk angle. For what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm leaving soon. I'm taking my bags and I'm going home.
They're trying to,
and then, the next couple of months they're probably they have war with Ambrose or,
trying to shoot. Maybe they're either trying to work themselves into a shoot or they're trying to shoot themselves into a work. I think they're trying to shoot themselves into a work, to be honest with you. I think Dean Ambrose is done. I think he's a creative. I think that's what it really comes down to. I think it's the creative.
It is. You cannot have a Dean Ambrose in a PG environment. I'm sorry.
I think you can. I think you can. I think
coming from a CZW where he was having.
Now he's not going to be John Moxley.
He's
not going to be John Moxley.
But that's
who he is.
Underneath it all, that is who Dean Ambrose.
But look how cool the Shield was. I'm not trying to compare.
No, it was.
They were really cool. I think we can have a Dean Ambrose be like that psychopath, kind of that modern day Brian Pillman. It just needs a book right. He doesn't need to curse. We don't need puppies. We don't need him to have somebody to a crimson mask. I think you just book things the right way. Like, it's funny. After he lost the belt, the promos that Dean Ambrose was cutting after, it was like, oh, those are the good promos, but it's hard to believe you because the way they booked you now is crap. So I think he's just like, you know what? You've had more than enough time to book me right, and you guys haven't, and I'm just gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah. So he's out in the steel chair, and who
most girls.
Nia fucking Jackson. They're continuing this thing with her,
which I endorse. I like it.
Trying to fight men or whatever. There was this idiot on Twitter. Oh.
I like it.
WWE, you're promoting domestic violence shut the fuck up. She came out and dominated the men.
Definitely.
She came out and dominated the men. Even eliminated Mustafa Ali after 30 minutes him running.
She eliminated Mustafa Ali, got a super kick by Dolph Ziggler, RKO by Randy Orton, and a 619 by Rey Mysterio. It took all that to knock her out. Come on, beat it.
Honestly, I think that guy's sexist. Because you're trying to say that Nia Jax isn't an equal, fair competitor because she's a woman.
I think that's just another example of somebody grasping straws just to start a reaction on Twitter.
Nia Jax, even though she's a bad worker, she can handle herself in the men's ring at any time.
Facts.
Just saying.
Facts.
So, we may say that she needs to go get retrained, and she does, but
she just needs more offensive moves. That's what it really is. She needs more offensive moves.
She needs to learn how to work properly.
Her footwork is a little sloppy too, and
it's everything, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're giving it's like when they gave the world championship to Big Show when he first started. The dude is obviously green. You ran with her.
Green and the goose shit.
Even her NXT career was her NXT career. Good?
She got called up too soon.
No,
she got called up too soon. She should have stayed. If Nia could have stayed down at NXT and been a little more seasoned.
Even Nia's rise to her championship, that was on the back of Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Come on, your promo sucked the whole time.
Speaking of Alexa Bliss, yo. I know we're getting up to her soon, but Alexa Bliss is stepping it up in the ring. And if Alexa Bliss can step up her in-ring game...
She actually wants the fans to name her next move. She got a new move and she wants the fans to give her
if you watch her stuff and she's come back, she's like implemented a lot of new moves in her arsenal. If Alexa Bliss can up her in-ring game a little bit, she can be like just...
Yeah, so...
She can just be something crazy.
she ends up Nia Jax ends up facing off with Dean Ambrose, and Dean Ambrose kind of like bows out like, "What are you doing?"
She like forearms him.
Yeah, like she bumps him, and he even says in the backstage segment that they didn't air on Raw that who's the new announcer? I forgot her name. Not Charlie.
Not Charlie.
Joshua Fuentes.
The one with the freckles.
I mean, all of them are pretty, but they're just generic.
The one with the freckles.
I don't remember her name.
Well, anyways.
Yeah.
The new announcer.
Kathy Kelly, Charlie Caruso.
Ooh, everybody knows Charlie.
Fuentes. Everybody knows Charlie. Everybody knows Charlie. Everybody knows Charlie.
Well, anyway, she interviews Dean Ambrose and asks him, like, what do you think about, Nia Jax? And he's like, well, obviously she tripped and fell into me, so I'm going to accept her disrespecting me was obviously her way of apologizing, so I'm going to accept her apology because obviously she tripped and fell and bumped into me. And, no hard feelings, whatever.
That's cool.
It's a weird situation with Dean Ambrose. I can't really call it. I know he did. It's official. He did give his notice to WWE, but they could try to like loop him in and like.
I think
this that WWE's not stupid either. You don't disrespect him on the way out because you want him back. Eventually, this man has held almost every title you have.
Yeah.
You know you invested in him, and wherever he goes, he's gonna be a huge star.
Yeah.
So
John Moxley.
Moving on from that, Nia Jax and Tamina were out for a reason. It was because they were in the women's tag team qualifying matches, and this involved Mickie James and Bliss tagging up, which finally solidifies the reason why Mickie James and Alexa Bliss have been together in like all the storylines since Mickey's been back.
They in and out good. They're friends, enemies, friends, enemies.
They frenemies and they tag together. Like you said, Alexa Bliss was looking really good in her match.
Yeah.
Debuted a new move. That flip she does with the knees to the stomach. That shit look impactful. Like she wanted to do a double flip on that.
Yeah, Kota Ibushi does that too.
So Nia and Tamina end up the winners of that.
I mean, I have to admit that the ending of this match with Nia doing the double Samoa drop with Mickie and Alexa on her back did look cool from the second rope. That looks cool.
I mean, but that's about all you can give us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it looked cool though. It did look cool.
So moving on from that match, we have a promo from Kurt Angle where they asked him about the thing with Drew McIntyre, and he says, it took a lot of him to get a lot of time for him to get over the results of that match, and anybody who knows Drew McIntyre absolutely destroyed Kurt Angle. He made him look like a rookie, and Kurt, Olympic gold medalist, decorated champion. No. That was actually great coming from Drew.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Because it gave Drew McIntyre a lot of momentum.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was great.
What will happen next? He ends up losing to Baron Corbin right after.
Whoever booked that, count the sins. Count the sins. That's what you should do. Count to the sins. Whoever booked that, count the sins. Oh my gosh, man. That would have been I hope it. Dumbass. Whoever booked that was a dumbass. Hey, I will say this, unpopular opinion, Baron Corbin is Raw's top heel.
He is Raw's top heel. And he's the top heel that nobody wants.
Top heel that nobody wants.
That's the crazy thing. Baron Corbin is the top heel nobody wants.
He gets good heat though. That's the thing. He gets good
heat.
I
actually don't have too much of a problem with Corbin. You know what my biggest problem with Corbin is right now?
What?
Why the fuck are you still in that vest? Take that vest off. You're not the GM anymore.
Count the sins, Baron Corbin. Count the sins. That vest sins.
So,
I'm about to make a list. I'm about to make a list of sins.
Yeah, like we need less of that vest. Like
I kind of like the vest.
I don't. He's not GM no more. And Corbin actually had a cool looking style. Before he cut off his hair.
Yeah. You
can transition to that. I heard he actually wants to get like a head tattoo. So if he does get a head tattoo, he can incorporate that with his new look. And Corbin was probably the first one before Aleister Black came along that had like that gritty, grungy, like metal look to him.
Yeah.
So I think they should lean more into that.
They should.
Corbin has one of the best entrance themes and best entrances.
He works
in
good
the
in the
business
ring.
right now.
He works good in the ring.
I love his end of days and stuff. He's a good
worker.
Man. Just take the fucking vessel. Take the vest off.
I encourage the vest, Baron Corbin.
Even Melissa agrees. Less of that, please.
You know what, Melissa?
She's like,
count the sins, Melissa. Count the sins, all right? Count the sins, Melissa.
Delete! 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 Delete!
And I hope we deleted the vest. Corbin ends up winning that match again.
Speaking of vests, did you see Aleister Black's
new vest on WWE Shop?
Yeah,
and you can buy the patches that he keeps releasing down the line to add them to the. I need one. I need one.
We got an Aleister Black somewhere.
So
I'm definitely gonna get that.
So yeah, Corbin ends up winning that. Kurt is again looking his age, and he's not holding up that.
We're about to go live again on Instagram.
Oh.
That's just his way of saying I'm gonna have to get up again in canon, and he got up a little bit.
No, I had to.
You know what happened?
No, I had to. It was about to run out.
So
Technical difficulties.
yeah, Kurt's just not looking fit to be in the ring anymore, and the way
they're booking him doesn't.
The way they book it, I mean, but we did discuss that. You can do Kurt right, but he's like in spurts.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have Kurt Angle going for a long time in the ring.
I don't think so.
This should be
But
Kurt Angle's Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Got on the shoe. This can go one or two ways. Kurt Angle has a great redemption arc where he does start picking up his wins.
Hopefully.
Or he puts over people and by losing in such a way that these guys take off. With Drew McIntyre, if they would have continued that storyline just a little bit more, they could have swerved that maybe into a title picture, even if it didn't include the Universal title, the IC title. They could have had Drew on fire even more than he is now.
Yeah, they cooled.
Yeah.
They cooled Drew McIntyre off. I think Drew McIntyre should have been the guy to have. As much as I like Bobby Lashley, I think Drew McIntyre should have been the guy to have the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, so
Nah, I think Bobby Lashley should have it. I just think that Drew should have been champion already. Universal champion, that is.
yeah, he should have.
Yeah,
That, he out of everybody, I don't. That's why even for the Rumble, I knew Seth was pretty much gonna win, but I was hoping that somebody like a Drew McIntyre would take it because he does on Raw. He's the guy on Raw.
Yeah.
He is the guy. He's it. You want to book merchandise sales, or you want to book the look, the face, the technical in-ring promo work. You want somebody who got it all. You go to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Do it before you can't do it. Do it before, God forbid, he gets injured. Do it before he jumps ship. You know?
It's not out of the realm of
AEW?
It's not out of the realm of possibilities anymore.
So it's not, and you know, you want to do. It's not just so much the contracts you got to do. It's the commitment on screen. You got to prove to these guys that they're gonna get the screen time. And you know what? They are doing that. I commend them because moving on through this Raw, people getting their shine. But the next segment going on was Finn Balor cutting his promo, coming off of his Royal Rumble loss, and this is why I think it should lead to a triple threat at Mania. He's basically saying he almost beat Brock. Pretty much I look good in defeat kind of thing. And he said, the one thing he said that continues the storyline was he had to beat me. But then after the match, he had to beat me again because he knew.
Yeah.
He finally believed in Finn Balor. So I think they're going to pull the demon out of it.
That would be nice. I mean,
Brock Lesnar's not going to be at the Elimination Chamber.
What's the rules, WWE?
So
he
we
pulls
still
out
got
the demon
Fastlane.
he pulls out the demon for Baron Corbin at SummerSlam, but he doesn't pull out the demon for Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. What are the rules? You know what, WWE? Count the sins!
Well,
Count
they
them.
actually do have a storyline reason for not pulling out the demon. Finn Balor wanted to prove he can do it as the man, Finn Balor.
The Balor.
If this was NXT, I'd believe it, but he pulls out the demon like once a year. And
You know what? I don't think Finn Balor could do it, but you know who I think could?
Who?
Yeah.
But
More
you know
of that.
I would love that, but you know what? Finn Balor's like one of like the last. Him and Seth Rollins like one of like the last white meat baby faces. So.
We have Lashley come out and interfere in the promo. him and Leo look pissed off.
My man.
You know,
The Moth.
you know, so coming off of the Rumble, he had a horrible performance. Lasted 12 seconds in the Rumble.
Damn.
So they were pissed off behind that. Finn Balor throws that in his face. This leads to a domination of Finn Balor. Bobby Lashley finally. I gotta actually applaud. I gotta like applaud Bobby Lashley because just in a few months teaming up with Leo, he's
Up his game.
He's finally upped his game. He looks believable.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in this Bobby Lashley more
Definitely.
than any WWE version of Lashley there's ever been.
No, definitely.
So
Definitely.
that leads to him dominating Finn Balor. Next up, talking about people that are finally getting shine and the recognition, we got the Major Brothers.
Who?
Zack Ryder.
Who?
Oh, you're right, because not even the production team knows how to spell Zack Ryder.
Zack.
By the way, WWE
Zack.
production team,
Zach.
whenever you want to wonder what the fuck or how the fuck to spell Zack Ryder, look at the fucking screen behind Zack. It's Z-A-C-K, not Z-A-C-H. Your own production team doesn't. It's been that long. Zack hasn't been on Raw. They forgot how to spell his brother's name.
Horrible, man.
But Major Brothers versus the Revival. It was actually a decent match, but the Revival come out on top of this.
Which they should have.
They should have, because we don't want to get that instant gratification with Kurt Hawkins getting his win. That, by all
That's a
means,
storyline.
should be a story that's implemented. Like, we're back, we're a tag team, we're scratching and clawing. Let the Revival get their tag team run, let their little dominant shine, and then at the end, the whole time, the Major Brothers are clawing their way, trying to claw their way up the ranks.
But they still losing though.
And
Then they get the miracle
could
win.
have had Kurt Hawkins go to 205.
You can have it on some listening. We lose,
He's
we
already there.
retire.
He's the champion.
So many things you can do with Kurt Hawkins.
He's already there. He's the champion.
You know what? You know, focus. Count the sins, okay? The sins are for counting.
I said this. I'll stand by my comment. Buddy Murphy and Kurt Hawkins are the same guy.
Different hairstyles, I guess.
They do. I mean,
He shaves it. He takes off the little toupee part on the side of his head when he wants to be Buddy Murphy.
Definitely.
Count the sins.
What time does the Super Bowl start? Only so we can estimate when the halftime show starts.
It'll let us know on YouTube.
Okay.
We should order some wings or something, you know.
So moving on through the show, I don't know why the hell this is going on. WWE recently just signed Jeff Jarrett, and they're using him on TV.
Jay.
He's funny.
And then he comes out.
What are you talking about? J-A-double-R-E-double-T.
Listen, you know firsthand I've been rewatching the old Raws.
And that's when
every time Jeff Jarrett comes out,
he loves Jeff Jarrett.
I hate it.
Jeff Jarrett.
I hate it.
Don't lie. He's lying to you on air. He loves Jeff Jarrett. Every time Jeff Jarrett, he's like, oh man, that's J-E-F-F-J-A-R-R-E-double-T Jeff Jarrett. He gets up and does the whole.
Well, Jim has no memory of that.
Woo! He does that. Or maybe I do it. Whatever. Facts don't matter.
Well, Jim has no memory of that.
Anyways, Jeff Jarrett's being used on TV against the Lions. I guess they're trying to fully turn the Lions heel again.
For what?
I like the Lions heel or
For
face.
what?
Just stick to one. Jeff Jarrett ends up coming out singing with Road Dogg, that old song they used to do. They had a hilarious moment where they tried to get Renee Young to join in and she didn't know the lyrics. So it's not needed. Jeff, stay your ass backstage.
I used to know the chorus of that song. Roll around, something, 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 my baby's a night. Are you trying to say that I can't sing? You trying to say that I don't sound good? Wow! Alright, that's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm still gonna debut my song. You're not even gonna see it coming. No singing. You know what, Melissa? Count the sins. Focus, count the sins. AJ, you also count the sins.
Melissa said no singing.
Alright? Count the sins, okay?
You know what I gotta say to you, singing?
What?
So
I guess it's just us now.
I guess it's just welcome to the new kayfabe Ave. We're dialing down the rest of Raw. I don't know where Richie went. He's gonna find some vocal lessons or something. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe he went to the Titan Tower.
He went to Titan Tower.
You know, with Josh Matthews. and Road Dogg.
I don't know. I just want to forget about the whole segment with the Roadie and Jeff Jarrett. We got heel Elias back, and you know what? That's an Elias that, honestly, I can see me walking with.
And that is what WWE stands for. I said WWE stands for.
That's the Elias I can walk with. Going forward, we have another women's tag team qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. Again, if you don't know, at the Elimination Chamber, we're going to have 3 teams from Raw, 3 teams from SmackDown, all competing in the Chamber for the new women's tag team titles. And
It's going to be a great match.
Earlier, we had Nia and Tamina qualifying against Mickie James and
I wonder
Bliss.
who she's going to injure this time.
She's probably going to injure the whole chamber, or injure the chamber
Expect
itself.
some NXT call up soon.
And you know what she's going to say?
Wow.
I did it for The Rock.
Oh, shut up, you thong wearing fatty.
For the people.
Wow! That's my line.
That's my line.
That's my line.
That's my.
Wow! Don't you start that with me.
The return
Of
Richie.
Don't you start that with me.
Woo! Hey, Facebook. Woo! Hey, YouTube. Woo! Money.
When
Last year,
I
I
spent
made more money
on
on
spilled
spilled
liquor.
liquor.
It
And when so let's not just throw it up.
Then you made.
Babe.
You're talking to
the
the Rolex
wearing.
diamond wearing. Kiss
Woo!
Wheel dealing.
Limousine ride. Jet flying. And a gun. And I got jumping down. Keeping up. And I got 25 girls out there just waiting for me to go. Woo!
Even that one right there.
Even that one right there. You see
Even
it?
the fat one in the.
Even the fat one watching, huh? I go out there and kiss her and make her cry.
Yeah, you cry. Even you.
Did I just?
Alright. Enough with you two ghetto booties. Because I'm going to put it in the ring and kick it, alright?
All right, Nigel McGuinness. I'll give you to NXT UK.
So, moving on, we have the Riot Squad versus Natty and Dana Brooke. We have the Riot Squad winning in good fashion. It was a good back and forth. But I love the Riot Squad and their heel antics together.
Yeah.
They
The
finally
Slap
pulled it
Girls.
off. Obviously,
Essentially.
you put Dana Brooke
Mhm.
out there, you more than likely know they're going to lose. They lost.
Oh.
And Natty, I guess, didn't realize that. And she showed her frustration by walking off on Dana Brooke.
Man.
Yeah.
So will that be a Natty heel turn? I actually did
I
like
guess he's going
heel
to
Natty in
AEW.
SmackDown. She will never. I never see Natty turning her
That
back
ain't
on
going
WWE.
nowhere. That ain't going nowhere.
She loves the legacy she
You
has.
go to AEW.
Natty going to AEW. Kick
So
first.
maybe we'll see more of that on tomorrow's episode of Raw. If it's leading anywhere, because usually Dana Brooke storylines get dropped quicker than.
Then is that right? Push.
Then is that right?
Sorry.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yikes! Yikes!
Sorry.
Yikes!
Sorry.
Ugh.
Sorry.
Oh man! All right, let's not upset Daniel Bryan.
Count the sins,
But,
people. The sins.
Next up, we have Ronda Rousey. She's trying to cut her promo, and the crowd is just booing the shit out of her. All they want is Becky Lynch. That's all they're chanting fighting for.
We want Becky. We want Becky.
So they didn't quite get Becky. They were saying that on Tuesday Night SmackDown that they'll actually have Becky's response to who she will choose to fight at WrestleMania. So instead of Becky Lynch coming out, we had.
Hey, baby. Ooh, I wanna know. Will you be my girl? One more time. Hey, ooh, I wanna know. Will you be my girl?
So Bayley comes out.
Don't you guys miss when Bayley was cool?
Bayley is still cool.
She is, but she's working away.
She's working. She kind of had the attitude.
Not her fault. It's not her fault.
The attitude that Sasha Banks was kind of projecting towards Rousey. She had the same attitude. She basically came out, called Ronda out for her, whatever match she had with Sasha Banks.
It seemed like they sent Bayley out there to save her because she was sinking out there. Ronda was sinking out there.
Honestly, I disagree.
That crowd
a lot of people think that Ronda kind of failed in that promo, but I think if anything, she succeeded in the promo because the crowd was trying to get at her, but she still got her main points out. She still got through the promo, and it wasn't a fail where she was stumbling over her words. It was more so the overpowering of the crowd chanting for Becky.
Yeah.
But moving, we'll get more to that. This leads to Bayley pretty much telling her defend that title right now. Defended it against the other half of the Boss and Hug connection. So we end up getting a title match between them. Great fucking match.
Yes,
it was like part 2 of the Royal Rumble with Sasha versus Ronda.
She was still selling the effects from the match.
Yeah.
Prior,
so
good stuff. Good stuff.
Ronda ends up winning, and it ends almost similar to how Sasha and Ronda ended, but instead Bayley actually gave her the hand, and before Bayley can actually leave, we get an appearance by none other than Becky Lynch.
The man.
So Becky comes out, and what they didn't show on Raw was the 4 horsewoman sign that Becky Lynch gave to Bayley. So we might not get it anytime soon, but they're definitely building. When that finally happens, it's gonna be a big thing because they're building that really good.
And Testament Dude just aren't ready yet.
Yeah, them two. That's why I think if they do it anytime soon, it should be in a 4-on-4 elimination format. So Jessamine Duke and the other one could get eliminated, and we can have a real good, match with the other two. Not something where we rely on Jessamine Duke and the other one. What's the other one's name? I'm sorry.
Jessamine Duke and Shariah Saphir. I know.
Whatever.
Shariah Saphir.
Right. So them two, I don't think it should be a 1 pin wins everything situation, especially considering the match level quality that can be produced from the two are not on the level of any of the WWE 4 horsewomen, and the people who will carry the other side more so than Ronda is going to be Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
That Punk say anything about the 4 horsemen?
Did I just hear that Punk over there say anything about the 4 horsemen?
The greatest man to ever grace God's green.
So this is why I say that I don't think she necessarily failed in her attempts with
she didn't fail, and she actually admitted that you guys got me to stumble over my words. Well, it was she was kind of drowned out there a little bit. She was she was drowned out there a little bit.
She held. I think she held her own pretty good. Becky ends up coming out, cutting a great promo on her, and typical Becky shit. But Ronda actually was like, I want you. The only reason, and this is why I said she redeemed herself. She's like, the only I could literally destroy you. I could kill you right now with my bare hands. The only reason you're standing here is because I'm allowing you to. And how's your leg, by the way? this is the only reason you're standing here right now, because I want you at 100%. I want you at your best, so I could beat you at WrestleMania. Drops the mic and walks out. Great promo.
I love Becky. See, Ronnie. I told you I was gonna come get you, Ronnie. I told you I was gonna come and get you.
Yeah. So it's a good storyline developing between them two. Obviously, you know, Becky chose Ronda. Moving on, we have Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre. I won't get into too much details of that. Typical match between the two leads into Baron Corbin coming out, giving Braun Strowman the DQ win. Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre had to double teaming him, and they both jump on Braun Strowman. Next up is Seth Rollins making his decision for which title he's going to come out. Now, Daniel Bryan was actually on the show, but he never even got into the segment with Seth Rollins. Seth was talking about his decision and how hard it is for him to make. And before he can even utter a word, Brock Lesnar comes to the ring, and straight up destroys your boy. Yeah. Seth Rollins got killed. And what I did like is he's like, oh, on the ropes, like, is that all you got? Like, come and... He proceeded to get F5 the hell out of the fucking arena.
My only issue with that is all right, so at WrestleMania, how are you going to... So what, he's going to hit him with 10 F5s?
Yeah.
And this is why I say that it makes sense. It makes sense that the WWE booked this in a triple threat fashion, because now you have the Demon who has unsettled business with Brock. You have Seth Rollins who has unsettled business with Brock, and they both have reasons to collide with them. Brock both dominated them in the same fashion. Finn unnecessarily after their match. Seth before he even made a decision. So I think that's the perfect way to put them both into the story. They can both double team, still give us a double team Brock out the situation. They can still give us a hell of a match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins at the same time. And we can finally see the title change hands. We don't need Brock to lose. We need either Seth or Finn to get pinned.
Nah, we need Brock to lose, because if Brock doesn't lose, then there will be a reason for
There's no rematch clauses no more. So even that is not a storyline reason to have
They'll
Brock.
Still throw Brock in there, man. That's how we end up in the story. Well, Roman.
I don't know. I'm hoping and praying that they don't go that route again. I said it. I will say it again. They were tone deaf by keeping that title on him to begin with, coming out of the Royal Rumble. So it is what it is. But that was Monday Night Raw. I feel like it was a good return off of the Royal Rumble, as opposed to last week's lead-in show to the Royal Rumble.
It was a good.
It was a pretty
Raw after
all
Rumble.
around good Raw. So
On to SmackDown Live. The show starts off, of course. I mean, it seems like we just left off with the man, but Becky Lynch starts off the show, and she comes out. I mean, the pop is big. The pop is big, people. The hype is real, and of course, she gets interrupted by Charlotte Flair. I really like what Charlotte Flair had to say. Flair said, "Becky, you learned all this from me, and you're the reason why you are." Flair says, "I'm the reason why you're the man," and Becky didn't say anything. Becky just punched her in the face.
It looked like she punched her in the throat or jaw jacked her. Like,
boom!
It was quick and, you know.
And she just walked out.
I forgot who exactly. Oh, no. Actually, Jerry the King Lawler, Becky Lynch asked Jerry the King Lawler to teach her how to punch.
Because Jerry the King Lawler throws some of the best right hands in the business ever.
Yeah, so.
Ever.
That jaw tap definitely was king size.
Go watch how Jerry the King Lawler delivers a right hand. Him and also
I give Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett he has one hell of a right hand.
Yeah, man. So that's a little interesting tidbit. JEFFJARRETT. Then. So Becky starts walking up because she just punched her in the face and just like really just walked out like kind of like nothing was gonna happen. But she's walking up the ramp all smooth. Charlotte attacks her from the back. Those two start fighting, and Charlotte starts targeting her leg. And after this, we get R-Truth versus Shinsuke Nakamura. So I was feeling like, okay, so Shinsuke Nakamura, this second title run's really gonna be big. This is gonna be good. He's gonna be on TV more. And then he comes out and he loses in a botch roll-up. I guess I'm pretty sure this is on purpose. This is on purpose.
I missed that part of I watched the entirety of SmackDown, but I missed actually how Shinsuke lost. And when I went back to the TV, I'm like, why is Rusev in this match?
And then exactly.
Thing
is, we're about to enter Bizarro land right here. So R-Truth wins with a clearly botched roll-up, and then Rusev comes out there and says, R-Truth, you don't deserve the championship, and you should put it in a matchup against me right now. R-Truth is like, no, Truth, don't do it. And R-Truth is like, okay. So he does it. He beats Rusev in like 3 minutes. And then after the match, Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura start beating him up together. But
first of all, it took the entirety of the match between him and Rusev to even get in my mind that R-Truth was the champion defending in this match.
Yeah, he was defending.
Because you just came off of the Royal Rumble getting your ass whooped by Nia Jax.
And I guess that was the reward for it.
I mean,
Shinsuke Nakamura,
let's not take nothing away from R-Truth.
I'm not taking anything away from
No, I know, but I'm saying in general.
American truth.
Let's not try to take any shine away from R-Truth. R-Truth has been in the business for a long time. You don't know, he's one of the few black NWA champions.
Facts.
He's definitely a decorated person.
It's the second.
I just feel like
United States title run.
You could have built R-Truth to this win a lot better.
Yeah,
and if anything, you should have incorporated Carmella into his win a little bit.
Maybe.
But the good thing, the little cool aspect of it is that we now have 2 mid-card champions, black, going into Black History Month. So it's a little notch for history. I guess.
Maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe it is. I didn't even honestly think about that. But maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But it doesn't even matter. It's the way they booked it. I don't agree with it.
Well,
but maybe it turns out in the longer run.
No, they did later on in the show.
Yeah. But I'm just they did
because understand this week, WWE said they admitted they want to have a new focus on tag team. So we're getting a lot of new tag teams forming. We're getting a lot of...
Yeah, we'll see. But I might want to get into that right now.
We're getting a lot of partnerships.
So later that night, we see in the backstage segment with Nakamura and Rusev, and the Good Brothers basically press Nakamura like, yo, what's going on with that? Like, why you and Rusev jump him? Rusev says to Nakamura, don't screw me next week. So next week, we're going to see the Good Brothers versus Rusev and Nakamura. That's a good match.
Finally on TV
again. I'm glad they're still employed. So that's
the return of the Good Brothers.
You know they copyrighted some phrases.
They did?
Who, the Good Brothers?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
They Carl Anderson trademarked his own name, and the Machine Gun, and Hot Asian Wife.
Ooh. Yo, all I'm saying is that the last time a team did this, they asked for their release right after their match. That is literally what the Revival did. January 1st, they trademarked
the Revival also are going to be the focus of Raw's
Here's the thing, though. The Good Brothers contract is coming up because they signed the same contract. Not this. I don't know the numbers, but they signed the same contract as AJ Styles. So that would be a big. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue on.
The WWE's club leaves together. Oh my god.
But
it goes to AEW.
Hey, who knows? Setting up but yeah, they set up a match for next week. It was supposed to be next week. It was supposed to be a match between Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio, but Zelina Vega comes out and she cuts a promo, says, Ray, I know that you got me banned from ringside last week. Am I that much of a distraction? While she's distracting him, Andrade, comes out
while she's distracting him, while I'm distracted by Zelina Vega.
Everybody's distracted by Zelina Vega. Good God, Ric Flair, and that white outfit she had on. That white number was, good gosh. And Andrade attacks Ray from behind, stomps him out, and Andrade looks good, man. Andrade looks good. I'm glad to see Andrade finally getting pushed, and that feud goes on. And I'm glad to see that feud go on because
maybe something like that.
Yeah, it's dope. Those two have banging matches. The 2 out of 3 falls match never got finished, so they have reasons to continue. I think people want to see that match continue. I wish a championship was involved in it, but it is what it is.
They'll probably end up being friends after this.
I want to see Andrade turn face. I really do, but I like his heel work. But I don't know, or just push more. I mean, they're doing it, slowly but surely. And then next we go with The Rock and Paige. Oh, Paige. Oh, shit, no. Translation, Paige. It's her and The Rock at the Sundance Festival. They're talking about Fighting With My Family, a movie that's coming out. And what I really like this segment. This is one of my favorite segments of the night. It was Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. They just inserted themselves into the women's elimination tag team. They don't have really the roster on SmackDown to have a qualifying match like they do on Raw, is my assumption. But we find out the real reason why Sonya Deville, why Mandy Rose is trying to break up.
Which is the best part of the storyline.
This is the
best part of the storyline.
I'm not gonna front. I feel like they're really reaching, but I don't care. It makes sense. It makes sense.
They're not reaching at all. That is the greatest part of the storyline.
It's dope.
They took literal footage from Mandy's Tough Enough debut and used the comments that Naomi legitimately made towards her that they're not good enough, and to make Tamina
do extra splashes
on them to teach them a lesson. It's perfect story.
Ties in, yo.
They really, finally got a good one.
I like it. I like it. I like
all this bullshit with the hotels and
which
was interesting.
Could have been good.
Could have been better.
Just do it better.
Yeah, I wish that sibling twin magic thing definitely came into play.
This is actually a good storyline.
This is a great story. They got to pull it off right.
It has to pay off a little bit more, but Mandy Rose is stepping it up. I think Naomi can really pull a really good match out of it.
I think Mandy should come out on the top of this one.
Yeah.
Just to book her as a strong heel.
Because at the Royal Rumble when Naomi did her spot, climbing back in. Man, Mandy looked like a proper asshole because after all that effort, she just pushed her right off, and it was just like, ooh, you asshole! Like you just did all that to get in the ring.
That was smart.
It was good heat. It was good heat. It was good heat.
See, Nia Jax, and that's how you get good heat.
Yeah, that was good heat. That was good proper heat. Next we have Shane and the Miz segment, and we have Shane come out. Shane brings out the Miz dad. And Shane, I guess, is the power of being the commissioner or GM. He books the fatal 4-way match. It was a good match, but this is my down of the SmackDown. This is really it's pissed me off. It was a New Day versus the Bar versus the Uso versus Heavy Machinery. I love the Usos, but I don't understand why didn't you have Heavy Machinery win this match?
I thought the whole time that's who was gonna win.
They good.
They looked strong in that match.
Very strong.
They looked like they beat the New Day.
It was a good match, even though the Usos won. But I don't understand why you didn't have Machine. Who's booking this crap?
Well, then again, you don't want to. You also don't want to pull the plug on them too soon.
That's true.
And get into that situation because they didn't get a full run in NXT.
I don't mind that because it's just like the Bar multi-time champion, Usos multi-times,
SmackDown. Yeah.
You need to pull the plug on somebody else.
We need to take the Usos off of SmackDown, bring them back to Raw, and really put those teams on opposite spectrums at this point.
I want to see.
And bring up more talent from NXT to
I don't even think you need to pull up more talent. I want to see more what Triple H said when they first delivered the Blackpool. I want to see NXT and NXT UK be to a point where if the Usos went down to NXT, it's not going to be like, oh, the Usos went down to NXT. No. The Usos just went down to NXT because they beat up everybody on Raw and SmackDown and they want more competition. And it shouldn't be looked at as a team going down, as it being a downgrade, because all the marks, we know NXT puts on better matches and better storylines than the main roster. So, hopefully that gets leveled out a little bit more, because honestly, I look at it like, really, what do the Usos or the New Day or even the Bar, what do they really have left to do on the main roster?
Not much.
They've beaten everybody. I would love to see the Bar versus Heel DIY, or Mustache Mountain versus the Bar, or the Usos versus Street Profits, or all these new matches that we could have that it doesn't get tapped into. But I think maybe we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Hopefully we'll get more of that.
We'll see.
So unfortunately, we have more promos. Even though it's Daniel Bryan, and I think Daniel Bryan's doing some of the best work in his entire life, SmackDown was way too promo filled. And I heard that actually instead of Roman, it was supposed to be Lars Sullivan in this role, which makes a lot of sense because that's how he's booked out of NXT. That
wait, Lars Sullivan in Roman's role?
That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true, but and it makes sense because if you look at how Lars Sullivan is booked in NXT, he's the giant, but he's mad smart. They always book him like that, so that makes sense. I think that was probably really the case, and it sucks it's not the case because I like Roman, but he just doesn't look threatening. He just doesn't.
No, he doesn't look threatening. Yeah,
he does in a way, in that kind of
his work as the Bludgeon,
that Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of
early Wyatt. Yeah.
Hopefully they do a little more. To me, this presentation, he just kind of didn't look threatening to me. But you know what? I like the SmackDown has proved me wrong a lot of times. I like the way they let things play out and see how it goes. So Rowan comes out and Dan Bryan says, you know what? I have been a hypocrite. AJ Styles is right because I've been walking around with this leather championship, and he literally Alundra Blazes. Who else did it? Alundra Blaze did it. Who else did it? Who else threw a championship in the mat? I feel like somebody else did it. Scott Hall did it. He literally throws the WWE Championship into the trash, brings out a hint WWE Championship. I'm surprised RVD and Matt Riddle did not pop up from under the ring at this exact moment. And we have a new WWE Championship. So I think it's awesome.
I am so mixed on it.
I like it because his character. That's the only... The look of it, honestly, I don't like it. But his character...
It doesn't even have...
It's him.
Like, it doesn't even have diamonds or nothing in it. It's like...
But it's for the character.
What do you call those things?
Rhinestones?
Rhinestones?
I don't even know if the rhinestones. I look at this belt just like how the spinner belt should have been just for John Cena.
I already see the storyline. After Daniel Bryan is not champion no more. I see that belt going up in flames at the end of that run.
If it's booked right, I think that could be done right.
And they should do it by somebody who's very 420.
Yo, bro. I'm all for Matt Riddle coming straight up to the main roster and beating Brock Lesnar. At me.
Yeah, beating Brock
That's just
or
me.
beating Daniel.
And not even just because of the storyline, just because of Matt Riddle, him, the MMA, the look, the everything. I think he has the full package. He can just come up there and straight just become champion.
Yeah, bro.
I don't have the problem with the NXT guys. Like, I don't have a problem with Heavy Machinery, like you guys said, like, may have been pulling the trigger. I don't have a problem with that because that's how new stars get built. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Heavy Machinery would have won this, we'd have automatically thought, oh, shit, Heavy Machinery they're legit.
Stick your weights.
Tuck it. We would have automatically seen them. We would have automatically seen them as legit because it's just, oh shit, they came up here despite all the bad, which I think is bad booking with all the NXT running for 1,000 weeks. They're gonna come up, then they don't, then they do, then they don't, then they do, then down to here, then they're not. They're on Raw, they're on SmackDown, they're on NXT. Who knows? They ain't know. Who knows? Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Paige knows.
Paige knows because Paige here.
But Paige hasn't been here. Where's Paige been?
She's
not on no storyline.
She's not, but she did an interview with Chris Van, and she alluded. We talked about this last week.
That she might come back.
And like I said, just like last week with technology, and Paige is only 26 with technology and her age. We have the technology. We have the technology. Or by the time she turns 30 something, we might have the technology. So Paige, let me finish this up because SmackDown really ended. To me, SmackDown's always good, but SmackDown is not necessarily newsworthy after. It's just like, oh, it's a good episode, but it's like, what do you really have to come after? Like, what do you have to talk about it after? But this SmackDown was very newsworthy. We got a new United States champion, a new WWE championship, and then after this, in order, who comes out? AJ Styles comes out and says, I think you probably smoked what that championship was made for. Randy Orton out of nowhere. Jeff Hardy came fresh out of AA. Mustafa Ali. Then Samoa Joe came with all hot fire. Samoa Joe came out shooting straight from the hip. Came out there, ooh, Wendy. Said I'm gonna I'm gonna defang the Viper. Jeff Hardy looked like you came straight out of AA. Mustafa Ali, you know what happened last time we got in the ring together. And ooh, Wendy. And then a brawl just ensued.
Wait. You gotta elaborate on Samoa Joe's promo on these guys.
That's what I'm saying. He came out there just boom.
All these guys are in the ring.
Boom. I gave you the rundown.
What he said to...
He came out. I'm giving you order.
Oh my God.
So to Randy Orton, he said to Randy Orton, I said, I'm going to defang the Viper. He says to Jeff Hardy, oh, you look like you just came fresh out of AA. Mustafa Ali.
No. Then he tells Jeff, starts to interrupt. He says, whoa. Why don't we treat this like an AA meeting and you shut your mouth when I'm speaking? I was like, well, you shut your mouth when I'm speaking to the group. I was dying.
It sounds
that
like,
won the whole promo.
It sounded like Samoa Joe was just straight. They just said, Samoa Joe, go out there and just.
But Samoa Joe has legitimate reason to feel like that about Jeff Hardy. Because he was there in the Jeff Hardy drugged out on TNA days.
Oh, Sting. Ugh.
So
and then he just looked at AJ Styles and he says, ooh, Wendy. And then AJ Styles just goes off on him.
By the way, how's Wendy?
Oh yeah, how's Wendy?
And that just started off. Oh my God.
And what I love about this is that Daniel Bryan just slithers right out the ring.
Oh, that's right. Melissa said Paige has been promoting her new movie with The Rock.
Yeah,
Fighting for Your Family, which actually looks really good.
I want to see it. It looks kind of like the typical story. I want to see it. I don't care. I want to see it. I'm a wrestling fan. I want to see it. And then Daniel Bryan is on the announce table screaming, "I'm not gonna give any of you a title shot." This is not what he said, but this is what I imagine he said. "Count the sins. All of you are sinning. Count the sins." Triple H comes out on the Titantron, says, "You know what, Daniel Bryan, you're gonna face all of them in an elimination chamber." I don't know how I didn't see that coming from a mile away.
I saw it.
I didn't see it, so it worked me. I popped hard for that, and that was the end of SmackDown.
Oh damn.
Yeah, that was a good SmackDown.
It was a good matter of fact, it was a good week in wrestling.
It was a good week.
WWE.
From NXT to the Royal Rumble to
I
SmackDown.
actually got to watch every single episode.
It was good.
WWE, NXT put out this week. It was good. 205 I got to watch this week too. Which is
Leo 5.
I watched
Leo.
Yeah, I definitely had to watch. I definitely had to watch the Thomas last match or Kenta. I definitely had to watch this match.
So speaking of Leo 5 Live, the first match started with Kalisto beating Knight Kanellis, which is horrible. Who's booking this crap?
Greatest.
The storyline is building. Let's not just say Mike Kanellis lost. The whole time Maria Kanellis is on the announcers booth, and she's talking shit back and forth with Aiden English.
She was
talking about I'm 15 years. I'm 15 years. The experience we have, and the whole time Aiden English is like, but where's your win? And I'm like, facts. Where is the win?
But she did hit him with a
the match. The match was really good.
They have to get booked to win.
Yeah.
They have to get booked to win, but for the sake of the storyline, going forward, it was amazing. Where's the win? And the whole match, she's putting over Mike, and Aiden is like, but what have you done recently? But what have you done now?
Well, she said to him, "Oh, look at you with your big commentary pants on." Ooh, burn.
Yeah, but they're building upon the fact that Mike Kanellis hasn't been getting wins and stuff like that. But let's be real. Like I always say when it comes to Mike Kanellis and Maria, Mike came in on drugs, needed his time to rehab it.
Yeah, he just started.
Maria decided to have a baby a month or two into her run.
And she broke her wrist.
So they still got to earn that back. And she broke her wrist, right? So they still got to earn that back. And this is the way. You bring it to the forefront. She denies that. You bring it to the forefront, and you have it involving your storyline. So Kalisto winning, Lucha House Party winning, period, kind of annoys me nowadays. Yeah. Just because of the way they're booked together.
Yeah.
So, Kalisto wins, but they did a good job on commentary.
Their faces, but they always interrupt during the match. How is that?
I don't know. I guess if you have a little childish gimmick with you throw candy at people coming out of your
and such.
Let's move on from that.
so the next segment was early in the day segment where Tony Nese started attacking Noam Dar in the parking lot, as he said he would last week. More of that. So
you know what I liked about that segment was the fact that most of these segments in WWE, when they go backstage and oh my God, they were sneak attack. Yeah. The quality and the production is fucking immaculate. You got HD cameras recording this sneak attack. This felt like somebody pulled their cell phone out and started recording them fighting in the back, and that's the part of production that when they put little details like that, I really appreciate it.
It makes a big difference.
So, it looked really good. It looked really good on screen.
Mm-hmm. And then, just for that, Drake Maverick suspended Tony Nese until further notice. So, who knows when we'll see him.
In the World Squad.
The next match is Akira Tozawa, and he beat Hideo Itami.
This is a good
former allies are now fighting each other in the match.
Good send-off match.
You have Kendrick and Akira's corner, and Navari in Hideo's corner.
Respect me!
And Akira hits the German suplex with a chop rope sets on for the victory. Yeah, the match was whack. It was horrible.
Especially knowing that he left right after.
I don't think it was a horrible match. I mean, we've seen Hideo Itami do a lot.
Nah.
Both of these guys have way better matches.
You know what?
It was.
People might not like it. Hideo Itami can't go like he used to. Hideo Itami can't go like when he was Kenta. At me, and let's see the next couple of months where he goes if that proves me wrong.
I think Hideo Itami can definitely still go at the same level.
I don't know.
I think he can. I think he's been shown it. I think he's been shown it.
He's been on a relaxed schedule, a rare relaxed schedule with WWE. Rare.
I think the matches
and
he
you
gets
can,
into a lot
and most of your matches, you've either injured yourself or they weren't that good matches. Let's be honest. The highlight of his 2018 was his match with was it Mustafa that they put him through the table?
Yeah.
That was his highlight match of 2017. And let's be real, Mustafa was on fire.
Yeah.
Mustafa was on fire. So I don't care who gets mad at this. Kenta cannot go how Kenta used to go. Because when Kenta tried to go, he injured himself multiple times. Because nobody in NXT who comes from the Indies gets reduced in quality in the ring. They do not get reduced in NXT. If anything, they use that knowledge from the Indies and the way they used to go and implement it into NXT. You couldn't even give us a solid NXT run. And you're already on a relaxed schedule. Kenta can't go. Prove me wrong. I respect the guy. He's a legend in his own right, the creator of the Go to Sleep. But let's be real.
I mean, he was signed as basically like a replacement of CM Punk. Hey, this the guy that originated the GTS and stuff.
But
like
they didn't really swerve into that direction, so I can't really agree with that. He was booked as, hey, this is a big Japanese star. He's a legend in his own right. This is a big acquisition. That's how they booked him. NXT booked him really fucking good.
He got injured. Yeah.
He got injured. It's bad luck. Nobody goes out there and plans to get injured. But let's not take away from the fact Kenta cannot go the way Kenta used to go.
Damn.
People get older. Bodies deteriorate.
Damn.
Time kills everything. Like, anybody else want to do it? I'll probably get a flood of acts like, hey, Kenta this. I can't believe you said that about Kenta.
I mean, like Adrian English said, what have you done recently? And it was not much. Daivari turned on him after the match. I would have liked to at least see that feud.
Listen,
just so
sorry to say,
Daivari over.
There was somebody on the forum that put, just another person leaving that I don't care leaves. And it's sad to say because taking nothing away from Kenta and what he's done as far as his abilities go and what he's done for the business, but you didn't get any shine as far as for doing it for yourself. And you can't say it's one of those WWE, WWE didn't handle him right. No, he got the proper shine in NXT. He got injured when he got called up. He got injured again when he got called up. And he saved Finn Balor. And then
just got injured.
And then when you come back, you got a manager. You have the best match of the year with Mustafa Ali. You just had a title match at the Rumble. There's nothing to bitch about, people. Kenta can't go like Kenta used to go.
Alright, so we'll see what that's
It's NXT. So NXT started.
I was gonna say this. NXT. This is like
this is
a recap show.
Episode.
Yeah. Street Profits is the only standout of that.
What are you talking about? How you gonna try to jump over Pirate Bay and Sky Bay, the Sky Pirates, the Black
You know why?
duo?
Because they were fighting against Jessamine Duke.
That's not their fault.
And the other one I can't pronounce.
That's not their fault.
It was
crazy.
They're greener than that cup.
The Sky Pirates carried the match.
They did.
They
really did.
You know, it's obvious Shafir and Duke needs more training, like 2-3 more years.
They need to do more house shows.
They need to
do more house shows.
Years. Do more house shows.
You know what it is? They should have never booked them as 4 horsewomen in
Did I hear?
Did I just hear that punk over there say anything about the Four Horsemen?
The greatest. Alright, anyways. Black Lotus Duo, Sky Pirates, whatever you want to call them, obviously outclassed them in every single way. The Pirate Bays.
The Pirate Bays.
Sky
Pirate Bays.
Sky Pirate Bays. I like that. Hashtag Sky Pirate Bays.
Sky Pirate Bays.
So Duke tried to do the ground and pound on Kyrie, but everybody that watches Stardom knows that Hojo is about that life. She was basically reversing the ground and pound, giving her own. It was back and forth. The Black Lotus duo does a pop-up anchor elbow drop on Saphir. Io dives on Duke, getting her out. Shane hits her insane anchor elbow drop on Saphir for the win. Great match for
Nice.
Sky Pirate
basically,
Bays.
We're over the green segment?
After that, it's basically
it was all recaps.
So we get recaps of Gargano versus Ricochet, Belair versus Shayna, War Raiders versus the Undisputed Era, Ciampa and Black, and that basically took up the 75% of the show. The last segment, the main event, was the Street Profits. You know, they come out bringing their swag out like nobody can in the Harlem Heat gear, inspired of course. Montez puts his cup up, and the whole first row had the red cups up. That's green.
I know, but
Green. Nice try.
Yeah.
So Street Profits almost get the win with Doomsday Blockbuster, but Gunner, I forgot his NXT name. I don't know, something like that.
Who are we talking about?
Gunner. You know that guy from TNA? He's in some kind of NXT.
He's with the guy who's with that other guy I forgot, and they got that third guy. I forgot his name.
I forgot.
It's Gunner, but you know I forgot.
I forgot his WWE name.
So
I will say
he interferes, said nothing.
He looks like a completely different person from when he was in TNA to when he's in NXT now. And why are they not pushing this man even more? Like
they forget to.
No, they just started.
I keep forgetting their names.
They just started. Exactly, you gotta push them out more. But anyways, they win, so that's the start of their push.
All the sons are forgotten.
Yes, the forgotten sons are forgotten.
So now we're going to across the pond to NXT UK, and the show starts with Bombers Dave Mastiff beating Primate Joe Melrose. It was basically a squash match for the undefeated monster known as Dave Mastiff. He hits a cannonball for the win. So, you know, a pretty average match for Dave Mastiff. The next segment was the Grizzled Young Vets, James Drake and Zach Gibson. And if you hate Zach Gibson's shoes off, I can't find my shoe because my shoes are already off because that's how much I hate Zach Gibson.
You know what? I actually like Zach Gibson, so my shoes are staying on. How about that? Boom.
Yeah, I think I'm
hot twist.
I think I'm gonna start leaving my shoes on too.
I like Zach Gibson, so.
So, anyways, they come out for their victory.
Shoes on.
They come out for their victory speech. Sid Scala comes out and tells them that Johnny and Sid found a great tag team to challenge the Grizzled Young Vets for the tag team United Kingdom Championships, and it's gonna be Oney Larkin and Danny Burch from NXT, and they're gonna challenge them at Worlds Collide. So we'll see how that goes. So the next match is a match, a debut match, the butt match.
The butt match.
The butt match.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you guys may have already seen all over Twitter what Walter did to Jack Skadars.
I mean, I didn't have to see that.
It looked like,
oh my God.
I look like that.
Listen, I'll be honest, that was like largely the reason for me tuning into NXT UK this week. I wanted to see Walter's debut.
Told you, man.
I've never in my life seen someone smack a man one time on the chest. One time. And that man's whole hand and forearm print is glued, like tattooed on this man's chest.
He's hit people harder before.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's why
for weeks I've been like Thanos smacked him with the Infinity Gauntlet.
That's why for weeks I've been putting over Walter. I'm trying to tell you, he's not a joke.
So Walter hits the powerbomb for the win. we get into a backstage segment where Barthel and Acher walks to Walter in the back. Now, Barthel used to be in a stable with Walter.
On the indie scene.
Yeah, on
like,
the indie
like
scene.
PWG and Rev Pro and places like Defiant and WXW.
Yeah, so Barthel tells Walter that if Walter needs any friends, that they got his back. Walter doesn't say anything, and he just walks off. I mean, hey, at least they didn't get chopped, right?
Listen.
So next match is Jenny, and she defeats Casey Owens. Casey Owens, for those who don't know, is a veteran wrestler. She has over 10 years, I believe, in the Irish team. So, but basically, it's a great match. Jenny hits a great flatliner into a turnbuckle and finish her off with a suspended X Factor for the win. Pretty great match. And for the main event, it was Mustache Mountain, and they beat Barthel and Acher. Great match, lots of back and forth.
That was a good match.
Barthel and Acher looks like they're gonna be a great dominant force in the future. But the big strong boys,
Big strong boys. Mustache Mountain's one of the best.
They went with the
tag
Snapdragon
teams.
clothesline for the win. And that's it for NXT UK.
Yeah, that's one of the Mustache Mountain is one of the best tag teams, period.
So
they also taped Worlds Collide. Should we get into that?
Let's pause that real quick. Melissa did send in her notes. She did her due diligence for the podcast, and she actually sent Richie her notes on Ring of Honor. So let's shift the focus off WWE. Let's jump into a little Ring of Honor for right now.
Let's go into some Ring of Honor. So we start with Juice defeated PJ Black. Man, I really wish I could have seen this match. Match.
He looks like he's in his fucking prime, PJ Black.
Yep. And Juice is kind of on that same wavelength right now. We're really just coming into his own. So after the match, Robinson said he didn't come here to win by disqualification. He said it's about honor and seeing who the better man is. Robinson said that he will be in Ring of Honor a whole lot more in 2019, and a positive change is coming. The message has the Kingdom has a message for Villain Press. I'm Matt Taven.
Matt Taven.
And Matt Taven.
Respect that man. He's the real Ring of Honor World Champion.
Matt Taven be shooting from the hip, man.
You see that purple strap on that belt?
You got to be careful with that, man, because Matt Taven be shooting from the hip.
Oh yeah.
So in a backstage interview with the Kingdom, TK O'Ryan said he was surprised that Marty Scurll had new friends, but there are no enterprises allowed in their kingdom. Matt Taven took issue with Brody King's last name, saying that he can call himself King because he's Matt Taven. Then he marks that PCO says that he's not human, but he's seen PCO bleed. I've seen PCO bleed too.
Such a good little promo right there.
Yeah, I've seen PCO bleed by Vulture's chops. Shane Taylor defeated Mike Law. After the match, Taylor said that everybody has been wondering who paid him to take out Christopher Daniels. He said nobody paid him. Taylor said he decided to take out Daniels on his own from ROH, and he's just getting started.
Also, actually working the storyline of SCU leaving.
SCU!
As them getting kicked out.
SCU, guys later. Colt Cabana interviews Flip Gordon. So I'm gonna Flip. So he congratulated he congratulated him on making Bully Ray say I quit at Final Battle. Now that that chapter is over with him, he wanted to know what's going on, and Flip Gordon brought up that he wanted to see her honor tournament, so the Ring of Honor championship is on his run. Kenny King interrupted. King claimed that he was the last man to pin the ROH champion Jay Lethal. He threw up the footage on the screen and showed him, he was. How about that, huh? King said the whole world saw him pin the champion and he got screwed out of the title. Now Gordon is out there asking for a title shot. King said that he's tougher than Gordon and is a superior athlete.
This is all happening while Flip Gordon is still injured?
I have not seen this taping, but doing the timeline of it, I'm not sure if Flip Gordon is injured at this point.
Melissa, you still on the YouTube?
I don't think
you answer? Is Flip Gordon still injured while cutting?
Now he's still injured, but during this particular junction, I'm not sure if he's been injured yet because Ring of Honor tapes.
Oh, it's pre-tape.
Right. This is a while ago because they're still talking about Final Battle. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah. So this is old stuff. Like the Elite just left, like 2-3 weeks ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we get into a 6-man tag team match. The Kingdom, Matt Taven, TK, and Vinny versus the Villain Enterprises. Whoop whoop. And that's Marty Scurll, Brody King, and PCO. After the Villain Enterprises entered the ring, the Kingdom came out to the stage, and Taven interrupted the ring announcer. Taven said the Villain Enterprises doesn't deserve a title shot because they haven't teamed together yet. He said they need to earn an opportunity, and he has arranged for them to face a team who proved themselves. Taven said their opponents are undefeated. Out came at Shinobi, Shadow Squad, Cheeseburger, Eli, and Ryan Nova, who are 5-0 on future honor shows. The Villain Enterprises versus
that is like the social rejects come out.
Basically,
that's like
the social outcasts.
A whole bunch of people who didn't stop watching Naruto.
Yeah. Bully Ray sets the record straight. Bully Red said, "I never." So I wonder what's that? Some cryptic message going on.
Hearts?
Yeah, a heartbeat. Yep. It's a heartbeat. It's like a heartbeat, and then it says.
Melissa, who do you think is behind that promo?
A new beginning from the old foundation. It says a familiar image, so this is obviously.
Hey, maybe Davey Boy and
maybe. I mean,
what's his name?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Teddy Hart, yeah, him and Teddy Hart.
Teddy fucking Hart. I've seen Teddy Hart wrestle live, man. He's awesome, and I'm probably gonna have the time to this coming Saturday at a House of Glory show. No, excuse me, I'm getting my indie shows mixed up. But the Lucha Brothers is gonna be there. That's gonna be the LAX versus the Lucha Brothers at House of Glory at Queens this Saturday. I'm probably gonna be there for that show.
So was that Ring of Honor?
That was Ring of Honor.
All right.
That was Ring of Honor.
So that kind of wrapped up the week. We gonna go on to
no, it does not.
Wait. Let's talk about MLW Super Fight that happened yesterday.
We can, but first we are gonna go to.
I thought you wanted to cover the Worlds Collided.
Oh, we can do that, but we gotta get to this new beginnings because a lot happened. A lot of good stuff happened. First off, Kushida, who
you got New Japan. You gotta switch the lighting for the New Japan.
Turn to yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah. Or gold color. Since we can't get gold in red.
No, you gotta put it white. Black and
white?
white logo they got. I love that logo.
Oh, I mean the main color is like golden and red though.
Right. So I'm gonna just put it. You know what? I'm gonna just.
But we had the Bullet Club. We had Jay White.
See, Melissa doesn't even know who they're promoting.
Probably not supposed to. It's a cryptic message that's been going on for weeks. So we'll find out in time. So we had 2 Bullet Club matches. We had the Bone Soldier and Takahashi, and they defeated Taguchi and Honoré. I'm sorry if I'm butchering some of these names. I've actually Googled the translations earlier, so I'm pretty sure I'm getting a lot of these names right. The second match was Jay White and Ballot Fale, and they once again beat Okada. And no, excuse me, this was not Okada and this is not Okada and Tanahashi. This is Okada and Yoshihashi. And the main event of that card was Tanahashi versus Kushida. And like I said, we're probably going to see Kushida in WWE.
You mean Marty McFly?
AEW is at the Super Bowl. Of course they're at the Super Bowl.
Why wouldn't they be?
Why wouldn't it be?
Wow. At the same time, Halftime Heat is on. That is crazy.
Wait, is Halftime Heat on? Melissa, let us know when Halftime Heat comes on.
Yeah, Melissa says AEW's at the Super Bowl.
And
well,
so
I can actually check if it's on now.
So that was night 1. And then we moved to LA because New Japan Pro Wrestling was expanded. They actually had a new beginnings in LA. So Juice Robinson main evented that and teaming with Tracy Robbins against Rocky Moreno and Beretta. And I'm pretty sure this is like Beretta's last match.
Where's Trent?
With New Japan Pro Wrestling. We had Alex Coughlin go to a draw with Clark Connors. Jonathan Gresham defeated Tyler Bateman. Colt Cabana beat Shane Taylor. And Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer defeated Brody King and Marty Scurll. I got to see that match. I was a pretty match. Yeah, this is new.
Oh, so Marty is still doing his little partnership with Ring of Honor. With New Japan.
This is
wow.
This is New Beginnings in LA, but they were in LA. But this is New Japan, but this is New Beginnings
now,
in LA.
With this New Beginnings, let's talk about what happened surrounding this New Beginnings, because the people in the forums are fickle.
They probably don't know. So after Wrestle Kingdom, they had shows.
There was a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm so pissed off that I got tickets to New Beginnings. None of the Japanese stars." Well, asshole, if you didn't know, the government shutdown messed up the acquisitions for visas, and the Japanese stars couldn't make it. Not that they didn't want to, or New Japan
It's a
didn't
payday
book
for them.
them.
They're missing.
You know, not only that, it was always said from the beginning, whatever stars show up in the American leg of that pay-per-view, they would not show up on the Japanese leg of it. People, do your homework before you comment. And so many people flooded the forums. Oh my God, I'm pissed off. There's no one good. You're not a fan of New Japan then.
Definitely not.
There's plenty even with this match, even with the lineup they had to throw together with, I mean, you got Jonathan Gresham, you got Davey Boy Smith, you got the Villain Enterprises.
Yeah, so Halftime Heat's actually been giving an NXT marathon leading up to Halftime Heat.
Nice.
So they're still running their marathon.
Nice. And night 2, this is all leading up to New Beginnings is all gonna culminate February 11th. That's where we're gonna have the main event of Jay White versus Tanahashi. We're gonna have Balor Fale versus Okada. These 2 nights, bless you.
Thank you.
Evil has never beat Zack Sabre Jr. ever. He just can't. For some reason, he just got
Zack Sabre
Jr.'s son got his number. But today, Evil defeated Zack Sabre Jr. Minoru Suzuki beat Sonata. Suzuki looks like the Punisher. The way he got his hair cut, he looks just like the Punisher. It's crazy. I thought the Punisher was out there putting in hard times with people. Jay White and Balor Fale beat Tanahashi and Okada. Once again. And Jay White not only beat him, Jay White tapped Tanahashi out, spit on him, and literally took his championship belt.
Absconded.
Like, he is I'm really starting to really believe in Jay White. Like it took me a little bit to convince him, but I
told you.
The way he's being booked, I'm really starting to believe. Like, he beat him very convincingly, tapped him out, and spit on him.
And now earlier I only saw the picture of Jay White holding the title up. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would they have Tana drop it too? But now that I see Tana just tapped out and Jay White stole the belt.
I love that.
That makes the storyline so much more better and makes me actually want to invest in Jay White versus Tanahashi. I don't think them dropping the belt dropping from Tanahashi, that shouldn't happen quick. It should be built up over time.
I think that's gonna happen at the
G1.
That's
what it's looking like.
It's looking like
we still got 2 months away from the G1.
He's gonna have 50 and whatever number he lost. I think he lost once. His team lost once this time. So I think they're like at 15-1 or something like that.
Yeah, they've been whooping the Dream Team's ass, man. The Dream Team of Tanahashi and Okada has not worked out.
Yeah.
And I gotta
15-1, I believe.
I gotta say that
give it up.
Even
I'd have been turned on my tag team partner 15-1.
Like Okada's shorts still get the biggest pop of the night. Dead serious. Like, I watched the entire New Beginning Day 2, and his trunks, when he took off the joint from the show, they had the Rainmaker trunks on, that got the biggest pop of...
Shouts out to the new subscriber who subscribed during this live cast.
Thank you for our time.
And is that... Oh, yeah, the post-match interview, yo, like I said, that merely made me just believe Switchblade, because Switchblade is he's a heel, yo. He's a heel's heel, yo. He's about it, yo. He wants all the smoke, and he's getting it right now.
Every single part of the smoke.
He wants all of it. And the today, day 3 that happened today, Tetsuya Naito defended his IWGP Intercontinental Champion against Taishi. He retained. Evil Sanada retained the IWGP Heavyweight Championships against Suzuki Gun.
Zack Sabre
Zack Sabre Jr. and
Zack Sabre Jr. son.
Shingo and Bushi defeated El Desperado and Yoshi for the junior. Well, they retained it. They retained it. They retained their championships. And that's really that's really it. I can't pronounce the other names. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of I know.
I can't lie. I butcher their names.
What I really do love is the character work that Tama Tonga's doing with being the good guy because he's
Yeah,
working.
you saw how they tried to tell him, glad it's your turn to close line. He's like, no.
What are you talking about?
Then they end up grabbing him
and Ren Narita defeated Takahashi Iizuka and Taka Michinoku.
Taka Michinoku?
Yeah, he manages.
He still wrestles.
Still wrestles.
And
Yeah.
he manages Zack Sabre.
That man is a Japanese.
Everybody top out.
And then Manabu Nakanishi and Tiger Mask defeated Ayoto Yoshida and Shota Umino. And then the last match is Toa Inare defeated Yota Tsuji.
Yep, and then we covered the rest of the card. So,
I think that's how you say it.
the New Beginnings, I'm pretty sure it picks back up the 10th. So the main event is the 11th. So let me see. Let me just look at the calendar real quick. So if it's the 11th on our time. So yeah, there might be another event, and then it's going to be the main event. But I know next time is probably coming around is the 11th, and that's going to be Jay White versus Tanahashi. And, we'll see. We shall see.
All right, so let's go into this MLW super fight.
That wraps up in Japan.
That happened yesterday. There was only 3 matches. The Hart Foundation defeated the Lucha Brothers to become the new MLW Tag Team Champions. Like we said, the Lucha Brothers are heading to AEW.
Elite.
In the future, and AEW also announced a partnership with AAA, which means that since
they already own Lucha Underground.
They already own Lucha Underground, so
that's why we have Joey Ryan finally being the Elite and alluding to his AEW status.
Maybe we'll see Ivelisse in AEW.
I've been waiting for my baby Ivelisse.
The King of Dong, the King of Hokish.
And then we saw Ricky Martinez with Selena Del Renta defeat Kodo Brazil.
Shout out to Del Renta, even though when you get that interview, it's alright though. It's alright. You're gonna want that. You're gonna want us to interview you one day. It's alright. We'll still give it to you, right?
We're not bitter, mate. We're not bitter.
Not bitter. No bitterness over here, mate.
We're not like what's the hell for that? Anyways, Filthy Tom Lawyer defeated Loki to become the new MLW Heavyweight Champion.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. That's what the Hart Foundation. I'm a big fan of Teddy Hart, so definitely check that out.
Every time I see the Hart Foundation and I see Brian Pillman,
oh my God,
Jr.,
you had to see this.
It looks
MLW
exactly like his
dad.
My guys on Armbar actually
where Tommy Dreamer and Brian Pillman had a Singapore cane match, and it was just beautiful. It was hitting each other.
Beat the hell out of each other. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
You have to watch that on BEIN Sports.
Nice. Yeah. So we're gonna wrap this up with the World's Collide, right?
Yeah. We're gonna wrap it up with the taping,
now,
the spoilers.
This Worlds Collide tournament was
of
long as fuck.
Yeah.
This tournament I think started around 12 o'clock in the afternoon and culminated into the actual event at 8 o'clock.
That's ridiculous.
I was so confused with this because they had about like 5 or 6 preliminary matches, and then when the actual show started, they had a battle royal to clinch a first round spot. I didn't understand that at all.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
But the match quality was amazing. We saw a lot of matchups between different brands, and honestly, this Worlds Collide tournament was exactly what the hell we needed to solidify NXT, both brands, and 205 as something in itself.
Yes.
And it stepped up the importance because Raw and SmackDown were completely left out. So
good.
It was just the minor brands of WWE, but they finally stepped into the plate. I say that with heavy air quotes because we all know the real show is NXT right now.
They're being elevated they're being, like I was saying earlier, what Triple H was saying at the end of Blackpool, they're being elevated to being on the same standing as Raw and SmackDown. So I think his vision is in another couple of years, when you see NXT UK, you say that in the same breath as you say Raw or SmackDown. Yep. So hopefully we can get there.
This Worlds Collide tournament was actually granting the winner of the tournament a choice of a title match between any of the participating brands. So we could see the winner.
Dream could have challenged Pete Dunne.
Yep.
Aleister Black.
I think he probably might.
Buddy Murphy.
You know what's funny? I think he's gonna go for Murphy. For the simple fact, a few like maybe 3 weeks ago, he posted a picture, and as much as they said they booked him at 235 his intro, Yamaz is making 205 weight, and he even said it. And
he does not look 235.
He showed a picture.
He's tall.
He showed a picture of him on the scale, and he was at 205 weight. So who knows? We might see Velveteen Dream.
That would be a good way to
force a call up and jump to 205.
That would boost 205.
Oh, immensely! And not only that, 205 Live is already cross branding with SmackDown, cross branding with Raw. So just more spotlight.
Daniel Bryan wants to have a mask versus hair match with Grand Metalik.
Oh, that's who he wants to do it?
So
Grand Metalik. That's just such a weird
Grand Metalik is
name to pull out the hat. No, it'll be a great match regardless. It'll be a great match.
Yeah,
but he could have chose a whole bunch of people on that wrestler, and choosing Grand Metalik, that's obscure.
If Hideo Itami would have stayed around, we probably would have seen Hideo.
He was already alluding towards that.
Yeah. So with the Worlds Collide Round 1 first episode, whatever it is you want to call it, it started off with the 15-man battle royal, and Fake Balor wins. I mean, Jordan Devlin. I'm sorry.
Oh, man, go get some credit, man. Give Jordan Devlin some credit, man.
That match with Balor he had was really fucking good. I like Jordan.
But it was literally like Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're me.
Except Jordan Devlin looks more bulldoggy.
Are you trying to copy him? No, he's trying to copy me.
Are you mocking me? Are you mocking me? Why are you changing your voice? This is my regular voice.
Do it again.
So, anyways, let's get into the tournament standings. We have 205 Drew Gulak, and his first round pick was NXT UK Mark Andrews, and he defeats Mark Andrews. NXT Dominic Dijakovic defeats 205 TJP. NXT Keith Lee defeats NXT UK's Travis Banks, the Kiwi Buzzsaw, and NXT Humberto Carrillo defeats NXT Tag Team Champion Zach Gibson. The Velveteen Dream defeats 205 Live's Tony Nese, which is confusing because he's suspended in 205.
Yeah, I see that match. Look at that shirt.
Not sure why.
Well, he's on Worlds Collide. He's not on the actual 205 show.
So NXT's Adam Cole beats NXT UK Shane Thorne, and the big strong boy Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate defeats 205 Live's Cedric Alexander.
That was a good match. I seen that match too. That was a good match.
Yeah. And
all of them were. I'm pretty sure all of them were.
And they also taped round 2, but I'm not sure. Did they show that already?
They did. I mean, we know the results. We know who wins.
Yeah, we all.
We know. You can get to the result. We know.
So with Worlds Collide round 2, you have Candice LeRae defeats Azia Lee. Fabian Aichner defeats Ligero. NXT UK's Tyler Bate defeats Adam Cole. NXT Velveteen Dream defeats Jordan Devlin. I need to get this correct. Jordan Devlin. All right, and then we also have a tag team match. Mia Yim and Tayana Conti beats the Hot Mess, Chelsea Green, and Vanessa Bourne. They have a single match with Tyler Bate defeats Jack Gallagher. We're not sure if they will show that or not.
What is this?
Worlds Collide. Round 2.
They had women's matches at Worlds Collide?
Yeah.
I didn't see
I didn't see any either.
This for the second round.
I missed that whole match.
Unless that's part of NXT UK.
They did do the pre-tapings of NXT UK because I did notice in the first show they alluded to what's the guy's name? He was the big guy in the Battle Royal that ended up getting the big English guy, tall. He did that backwards flip outside the ring that night. You know who I'm talking about.
I didn't see a lot of that Worlds Collide.
I forgot his name, but Yeah, they alluded to the fact that he moved up. He moved up in the tournament, but he ended up losing that match on the pre-show. So
I mean, but look, we know who the internet knows, so we can get to the result. We can talk.
Yeah,
we
so,
can talk about the finals and who wins and
Oh yeah, but the WWE the tournament finals ends with a Velveteen Dream, and he beats the NXT UK Tyler Bate. So now he has
a good ass match, and
only a match.
Mind you, they went 5 matches each. They went 5 matches total each. So Dream was pretty beat up, hurt. He was selling the ribs the entire match.
Nice.
And it even took like a desperation elbow drop to even win the match. So
and then
well done.
So Dream wins the chance to challenge any champion from 205 Live, NXT or NXT UK, and I believe they already take who he picked.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. Do you think so? Does that count for that? I don't know. I mean, because it would make sense for what Velveteen Dream is already doing outside of the Worlds, even though Worlds Collide obviously is affecting main continuity storyline. It would make sense for Velveteen Dream to come out NXT and call out Johnny Gargano.
Spoiler!
Especially for what's going on.
Spoiler.
And so I'm assuming he used the win for that to challenge Johnny Gargano.
Well, the rules say any championship, it doesn't have to be the main championship.
And it makes sense.
You know what? I didn't even think about that loophole. And then why wouldn't you go for the top title of that brand? That doesn't make any sense.
The last NXT episode, he says his eye currently is on the North American Championship.
And that would be the reason to get off him. That would be a reason to get it off of Johnny Gargano. Just have Dream beat him, and then Johnny Gargano can... Because that storyline's obviously continuing. Even at TakeOver, soon at the top of the ramp, you see right before the flash at the end, you see Johnny Gargano look at the title.
But I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on that them fighting again for a long time. NXT is smart. NXT is smart.
It might happen at WrestleMania. It might happen at WrestleMania weekend.
You don't think so? Because they recently just taped Velveteen Dream versus Johnny Gargano twice.
With 2 endings.
2 endings.
With 2 endings?
Yeah.
2 endings. So not even the fans that were there.
Wait, hold up.
Happened.
So at the end, so he has a pull on the trigger on Gargano?
Yes.
Spoiler. His worlds collide. He pulls it on.
It's possible.
This is what we think.
Like I said, I wasn't there,
so we don't
actually know, and the fans don't know.
That's very Marvel of WWE. Like
smart because
it's filmed 2 endings.
So it ended. So he hit him with the Dream Valley Driver, picked him right back up. Another Dream Valley Driver went right to the top rope. Boom! Dropped the elbow. 1, 2, 3. Then they reshot the ending sequence. I think he went for a Dream Valley Driver. I think Johnny Gargano reversed it somehow. Johnny Gargano escaped, taps him out. Then he walks to the top of the ramp and holds up the championship with Tommaso. And then in that scene, he's just looking straight at the championship. He's not even in the TakeOver. You kind of alluded to it. Now he's just straight like this with that. So we don't know which one happened, which I think is smart. I think we need to do that shit all the time. Honestly,
more of that.
They need to do that all the time, so we don't know. It's crazy because you don't know now because you can go this whole different direction with storylines. You go this way, but it's probably going to be with Velveteen winning. It makes the most sense. But the other side makes sense too. I don't know. Very interesting. And this is why NXT is the best thing in wrestling most of the time. A lot of times. A lot of times.
At least 99% of the time.
It really is, yo. To me, it's only when Wrestle Kingdom comes around, or Dominion, or they have that really big New Japan storyline that Japan takes that #1 spot. The main roster to me rarely takes that spot with being the #1 thing in wrestling. But NXT storyline, in-ring work, they're usually the best thing in all of wrestling.
And I agree. To me, WWE is the end all and be all, but is Raw and SmackDown the best show? Hell the fuck no.
Not even close.
Watch NXT UK, and implement 205 Live.
I will say this though.
Honestly, watching all the episodes this week, watched every single episode WWE had to provide. Great fucking wrestling.
This is good wrestling this week.
But all those people who complain, the main roster's not doing this, Raw's not doing that. Support the other brands they got, because that's where everything you want.
That's what I've been telling you guys for weeks.
That's what everything you want.
205 Live, watch NXT UK,
legit.
on the WWE Network, only $9.99 a month.
Thanks, company man. Look at your company hat. Look what you get your company hat. But when the main roster gets it right, they look at Ronda and Becky. When they get it right,
they get it
amazing. Right. So I give I give my credit when it's due. But
that being said,
we can keep talking because there are a lot more things to keep talking about because we beginning just set up a whole new set of storylines.
We could keep rambling along, and we talk about wrestling. We could do it all night. Richie, tell them where we can find you at.
You can find me at Mr. Richie Moon, and you can find me at
that's my line.
That's your line. Wow.
Don't
you start that. You can't do me, and I'm cutting you off right now. Don't you start that.
Did I hear this bum in the ring say anything about the 4 horsemen?
Ever since Moon's baby left he needed a new place to crash.
You don't know nothing about the SmackDown Hotel in the ring or outside.
And I think with all that being